Did Robert Baylor make it?
Yes. Still right here.
Okay, come on out, Mr. Baylor. How are you, Mr. Baylor? I'm Mr. Baylor. I'm going to appoint public defender's office. Public defender, do you have any issue on any of the things about probable cause? Okay, the court's going to find probable cause. Mr. Baylor, you're being charged with, or you're being arrested on attempted burglary of an occupied dwelling. I'm going to keep your bond at $2,500 unless state agrees to reduce it. Okay, let me see where my sheet's here. Some of the other ones left. Mr. Baylor, I'm going to leave that bond as it is. Thank you very much. Do we have Daryl's Strachan? Not sure I said that right. Are you Mr. Is it Strachan?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on criminal mischief and battery. You're out on bond right now. I'm going to leave that out on bond as it is. Point to public defender's office. Are you working, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I have a restaurant. The restaurant I was locked up at.
Oh. Is it back open?
I'm sorry?
Is your restaurant back open?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What's the name of your restaurant?
The Junction Bar and Restaurant, 2141 West Colonial Drive.
Oh, the allegation is this person saying that you're the ex-partner.
Yes, the arresting officer asked me for proof. He wouldn't take my phone as proof. I had my liquor license in my phone. I had sunbiz.com on my phone. I had my business license in my phone. He asked for paper. I was like, I don't walk around with paper showing proof that I own my restaurant.
All right. All right, Mr. Strachan. How do you say your last name?
Strong.
Strong.
Like the CH is silent.
I'm going to can you make this bail? Can you make $1,000 bail on criminal mischief and $500 on battery?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to leave the bond intact. I'm going to leave your other bond intact on the surety bond on the failure to return a hired vehicle. Right now, I'm appointing the public defender. If you hire private counsel, just let them know and they'll withdraw. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Is Mr. Daquan Allen there? Mr. Allen, you're being charged with trespass on property after warning. State, do you have any objection if I give him a credit for time served offer? No. All right. So, Mr. Allen, if you want to enter a plea from the court, a plea of no contest to give up your right to go to a jury trial, I'm going to give you credit for time served and fees and costs, which I will reduce to judgment. I will not bother your ROR. You still have another trespass in dwelling after warning, and that's still pending. This will not affect that case. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
What would you like to do, sir?
No contest.
Okay, if you please raise your right hand as well as you can. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you Daquan Allen?
Yes.
Excuse me for a second, hang on. Judge Adams. Yes. We'll tell them it's an emergency? Are you telling me it's an emergency? Okay, I'm in court on the record conducting court. So when I get done conducting court, I'll look back at the queue. All right, thank you. Bye. All right, sorry, Mr. Allen, for that
It's
interruption.
okay.
Sir, do you understand you're entering a plea of no contest to the charge of trespass after warning? The maximum sentence on that is a year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. The court intends to adjudicate you guilty and give you credit for time served, take the fees and costs and reduce those to judgment. Do you understand that?
So you said if I plead guilty, say that again?
No, if you plead no contest,
Yes.
I'm going to adjudicate you guilty and give you credit for time served.
Yes.
There's fees and costs that will be assessed, and I'm going to reduce those to judgment.
Yes.
So there won't be any payments, okay?
No contest.
So, right, so I have to make sure you understand your rights that you're giving up by pleading no contest.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Do you understand you're giving up your right to go to a jury trial where the state would have to prove the allegation beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt?
Yes.
And do you understand if you're not a citizen, you would be deported based on this plea?
Yes.
Do you understand if you have in your past a violent sexual felony, that this plea could result in a civil petition being filed to ask to have you committed?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medicines?
Not at all.
Anybody forcing you or threatening you to get you to do this?
Not at all.
Are you all right, I'll find a free and voluntary plea. I'll accept the plea based on the allegations contained in the complaint. There's a factual basis for the plea. Anything else from anybody before I pronounce sentence? Court will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to credit for time served, fees and costs are imposed, reduce those to judgment for which execution issue. This is concurrent with any other sentence. If you would like to appeal, Mr. Allen, on this sentence here today, you have to file a written notice of appeal within 30 days of today's date. If you wait beyond 30 days, it's too late to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the last thing, Mr. Allen, is you still have another case that's pending, that you are out on an ROR. I presume that the state attorney's, the public defender's office represents you. Don't forget to contact them about that case because it's hanging around. I don't know where it is in the court system.
Yes,
but with
ma'am.
us shut down because of COVID, it's still out there. So don't forget about it.
And what case is that? Is that the trespassing case or is that the burglary case?
No, sir. It says trespass and dwelling after warning, and it's 2020 MM 3393.
Yes. And I have a question for you, Mr. Judge, Mr. Adams.
Yes. Yeah.
I live there. My dad do not live at that house. I live there. My address is 5212 Shaker Circle. He don't live there. He just come whenever he wants to come. That's my address. I live there. So I want to trespass him from my house. That's my house and my mother's house. So how come he trespassed me? I don't understand that.
You might have a very valid defense to that. I don't know. And I can't give you legal advice, but make sure you call your public defender.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much.
So I will be released today.
Your Honor?
Yes, sir. That's the only thing that's got you. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor?
Okay. Yes.
Was it
Yes.
on the 3393, that's the charge he's currently here on, that's the one he's time served and you're taking no action on the out on bond, is that correct?
Okay. Yes. I misunderstood when I was looking at. Yes, ma'am. I've taken no action on the 2020 MM 181AA. Is that the one he's out on bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. I'm not taking any action on the ROR. I'm just taking care of the one that he came in on today. All right. Thank you. Okay. This is, where did I go? Mr. Zeke, are you Mr. Benedict?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Benedict. Excuse me. You've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on battery domestic violence. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Let's see. Pre-trial release. Have you had contact with the victim?
She's present, Your Honor.
Okay. Madam Victim, could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
Yes.
Could you tell me your name, please?
Kenya Benedict.
Okay, and are you the victim in the case that involves Zeke?
Yes.
And do you want me to have no contact with him? Do you want me to order that?
No. I
Are you scared of him?
I want contact with my husband. No, I'm not scared of him.
Okay. So you know if you do become scared, you call 911?
Yes.
Okay. Court, over the strenuous objection of the state, will release him on his own recognizance with one condition, that he not have any hostile contact with his wife or anyone else in his family. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. You're very welcome. Good luck. Make sure you keep in contact with the public defender in case they file charges.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks. Is Mark Crumpler there? Are you Mr. Crumpler?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, you're being charged on a find probable cause. You've been arrested on a find probable cause on possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'll appoint the public defender's office. I am not going to do anything to his release on pretrial detention because you're on pretrial. It's pretrial detention, right? Or diversion.
Diversion.
I'm going to ROR you on these cases. I don't know if it's going to affect the diversion or not. Continue to report to the public defender. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Are you Chad Zarni?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Correct.
One second. All right, Mr. Zarni, you're being charged with petty theft. I'll appoint the public defender's office. It looks like your bond's at $500. Does he qualify for pretrial release? It does not look like it, no.
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, so if you make your bond, make sure you keep in contact with your public defender, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Let's see,
Connor, what was the bond on the previous one?
$500. Yeah, that's what he came in on. Now, is that Mr. Ford, Trayvon Ford?
Yes, ma'am.
Okey-doke. Mr. Ford, you've been arrested on find probable cause on possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver, and possession of ammunition by a convicted felon. I'll appoint the public defender's office. They set no bond on the possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver. What's the normal bond on that?
I am not sure, Your Honor.
I don't know. Hang on. All right, I'm going to set bond on the one that's a no bond at $10,000 also. So you've got 10,000, 10,000, and 150. All
Thank you,
right?
Your Honor.
If you make your bond, make sure you keep in contact with the public defender. Thank you.
All right. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is Mr. Raymond Harris there?
Yep.
You, Mr. Harris?
Dennis Miller.
Dennis Miller. Okay. Should I recall Raymond Harris, or did he refuse? He refused yesterday.
He refused, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. He refused. I'll just go ahead. Okay, Mr. Miller, I think I've got 3 cases here for you. Let me see the first one. Mr. Miller, I'm going to appoint the public defender on everything. The first one, you're being charged of burglary of an occupied dwelling, and I'll set bond at $3,500 on that one. The next one, for the record, that is the 2020 CF 5698. The next one is 2020 MO 542. Appoint the public defender's office. In that case, sir, you've been charged, and I'll find probable cause on alcoholic beverage open containers. Normally, I would ROR you on that or offer you a time served plea, but you got all these other cases, so I think maybe I'll just let the public defender take care of them for you. want me to do that, or you want to enter a plea on that one? Then your last case is possession of methamphetamine or MDMA ecstasy, and that bond's set at $1,000. Mr. Miller, have you been diagnosed with a mental illness?
Yes, ma'am. But I was
Okay,
just
I
really,
don't-
I was just really
Yes.
just prowling because I'm homeless. I sleep outside beside the building, so I don't know where they get
Right.
that burglar from. It was really called prowling.
Right. So the law enforcement, I think it's going to probably pick you up if they see you in a park nowadays.
Yeah.
I hesitate to offer you something on something that would be a credit for time served because the public defender's office may want to file a competency issue with you, which might mess up your cases if I let you plea right now to an alcohol case. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you can make your bonds, I will set a bond of $100 on the alcohol case. I would ROR you normally, but I think that you better not get an ROR because you won't get credit. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So make sure you keep in contact with your public defender. If you can make your bonds, make sure you keep in contact with them. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
So is our Spanish interpreters here?
Yes.
A call here? This one? Okay.
Oh, wait.
Is that Spanish?
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Alan Figueroa, certified Spanish school interpreter.
Thank you. Have you been sworn in?
Not yet, Your Honor.
If you please raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm to accurately translate from English to Spanish and Spanish to English?
I do. Alan Figueroa, certified Spanish school interpreter.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to call our Spanish cases, and I don't know what I do. You got them, right?
They need a minute to get
Okay, it's going to take just a minute to get them in there.
Sure thing, Your Honor. Just to confirm, it's in courtroom 2 at the jail, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
And they'll have the headsets for them, I believe. Okay, looks our first person's at the podium with the headsets on, maybe. Yeah, he's got the headsets on.
Sí.
And
He can hear me, Your Honor.
okay, so Mr.
Sí, te escucho.
Como Velasquez, can you hear and understand our interpreter?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, sir. Let's see. Information. What is information? Not Spanish. Okay. His last name is Como Velasquez. His first name is Angel. Don't worry about it. Okay. We can just. All right. Sir, you're being charged with one count of aggravated battery on a pregnant person and domestic violence, a count of battery domestic violence, another count of possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and one count of possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm appointing the public defender's office. BRC2, is there any victims there that would like to talk to the court?
Not for this victim, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Court's going to find probable cause, appoint the public defender, going to set bond on the aggravated battery pregnant person in the amount of $5,000. On battery domestic violence, it'd be $1,000. Possession of cannabis will be $1,000, and possession of drug paraphernalia would be $500. As a special condition of probation, you're not to have direct or indirect contact with the alleged victim, who is Kendra Lee DeLeon. Sir, do you understand that?
¿Me lo puedo repetir de nuevo?
Can you repeat that, please?
Yes. 5,000, 1,000, 1,000, and I believe I said 500. The special condition is you're not to have contact directly or indirectly, which means no social media posting, no reaching out by any means of any kind of electronic communications or in-person communication, no contact with Kendra Lee DeLeon, Deleon.
He does qualify for pretrial, Your Honor.
He does? With those kind of charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you guys had contact with the victim?
No, Your Honor.
So do you suggest that I give him a bond or suggest that he go on pretrial release? Is it an either or both?
It's your discretion, Your Honor. I'm just on for the record, he does qualify.
Okay. State what's your position.
The state objects to pretrial release.
I'm-
The nature of the
They're pretty aggravating. His charges are aggravating. I am going to leave the bonds as posted and with those conditions. Thank you very much. And do we have Miguel Quiros Mencia?
Your Honor, is there a case number for Mr. Velasquez?
Yes, I believe so. I have 2020 CF 5738. I'll try to remember to announce those for you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks. And now I believe we have Mr. Quiros Mencia, which is case number 2020 CF 5730. Mr. Quiros Mencia, can you hear and understand our interpreter?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, you are being charged with one count of aggravated battery and one count of battery domestic violence. I'll find probable cause and appoint the public defender's office. Any victim for Mr. Quiros Mencia?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Does he qualify for pretrial release?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to set bond in his case in the amount of $5,000 on count 1 and $1,000 on count 2. As a special condition of bond, he is not to have contact directly or indirectly with the victim, whose name I believe is Genesis Castillo. And indirectly means no social media posting or reaching out to the victim in any type of digital form or in person. Sir, do you understand that?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Keep in contact with the public defender if you make your bond.
Okay.
Thank you. And the next case is Bursain Ramirez. This is case number 2020 MM3386. Sir, can you hear and understand our interpreter?
Sí, señor.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you're being charged with one count of battery dating violence. I'll find probable cause, appoint the public defender's office, set bond in the amount of $1,000 as a special condition of bond. You are not to have contact directly or indirectly with the victim, whose name I believe is Tania Reyna, Reyna. Pretrial release, is he qualified for that?
No, Your Honor. And for the record, he does have an immigration detainer.
Okay, so if you post your bond, I understand ICE will pick you up. I don't know if ICE is picking people up during this COVID or not. So make sure you keep in contact with your public defender. Thank you.
Disculpe, ¿me podría repetir eso?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Repeat, that there is an ICE detainer,
Sí.
immigration has
Yes.
a detainer on you. If you post your bond, I believe that ICE may pick you up.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you post your bond or ICE picks you up, make sure you keep in contact with your public defender to let them know where you are.
Okay, gracias.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Sorry.
And is Carlo Lopez Rodriguez there?
No, Your Honor, he's mental health.
Okay, mental health. And I think, is that it for our Spanish interpreters?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Mr. Interpreter. Have a great Mother's Day.
Not a problem, Your Honor. You as well. I'm not a mother, but thank you. You as well.
Okay, thank you. Bye. I need to, let's see, who are we on now? These. I had a Spanish ones here all the time. It's okay. Not the ones I throw away. Throw these away?
Yeah, well, I'll collect them at the end.
Sorry, I'm making a mess here.
That's okay.
All right, now where am I? Thank you. Sorry. Making a mess here for the clerks. Okay. If I have this in order. Are you Mr. Chooks?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Chooks, I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office. You've been arrested, and I'll find probable cause on contempt of court for violating a no contact order. Here, I've got Mr. Chooks's, I just saw his. So, information sheet seems to say that there's a first appearance detainer. Pretrial release, is that because he was on pretrial release?
No, Your Honor, he is out on bond for case number
Yeah.
2020 CF 1251.
125? Oh, that's different. This one's 2020 CF 5722.
That's
That's
his
the new
current
case.
case, Your Honor.
Okay, and I have one here that's 2020 CF 1251. That's one you just said. Okay. And that's aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, robbery, snatching, battery, one prior, resisting. Is that the same victim?
Let me look into that, Your Honor.
Thanks. This says it was a contempt of court. It says that he told law enforcement that he thought he had a no contact order or had a no hostile contact order. And I don't think law enforcement could find the change from no contact to no hostile contact.
Same victim, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Chooks, court's going to revoke your bond on that surety bond in case number 2020 CF 1251. On this new law offense, the court's going to set the bond at $10,000. Appoint the Public Defender's Office. Thank you very much. No contact with victim. Here. Okay, is Raymond Johnson there? You, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause and appoint the public defender on battery by strangulation, domestic violence, tampering with a witness to hinder communication of a law enforcement officer, and battery, domestic violence. Any victims there?
No, Your Honor.
Or Mr. Johnson?
He does qualify, Your Honor.
He does?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you guys have any contact with the victims?
We did have contact with the victim, but they're not present.
Okay. And did you get any input from the victim about whether she wanted him back or have contact with him?
Nothing that's documented, Your Honor.
Okay.
We wouldn't be able to change this.
Not Let's just say so.
So you have somebody you could live with, Mr. Johnson, besides the victim?
I don't.
You don't?
No, ma'am.
I think you told, pretrial release believes that you told them that. Okay. I'm going to find probable cause. I'll set bond on the battery by strangulation at $2,500, the tampering with witness at $2,500, and the dating violence at $100. A special condition of that is you're not to have contact directly or indirectly with this victim. You may not return to where she lives. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. Would
All
I
right.
be able to change that?
Would you be able to change what?
Like, to be able to have contact? Because, I mean, me and her just moved to Florida to make this big change, and it just, she didn't do all this by herself, so and I have a daughter too with her, so.
That's why I was interested in to see whether or not I had any input from her. Keep in contact with your public defender. If she is in agreement with changing the no contact order, then the court would be inclined to do that. But not right now, not without contact from her, I wouldn't do it, not based on these allegations. Okay?
Okay,
Right. Thank you.
thank you.
And now we've got Richmond Johnson. Is he here?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that you? Okay, sir, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on false imprisonment and domestic violence battery. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Is there a victim there? And pretrial release, did you guys have any contact with the victim?
Victim is not present, but we did make contact, and he did state he would be in court.
Okay. My thing here says he does qualify for pretrial release. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Johnson, I'm going to set bond on the false imprisonment at $1,000 and the domestic violence battery at $100. Can you make that bond?
I might have a little trouble. Is there any way you can get a little lower? My mom and my
Yeah, no.
sisters on a fixed
Here.
income.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say you can either post the bond, and you could do that, and then you would not have any restrictions on you, or you can go out on pretrial release.
I'd rather
The
do that.
restrictions-
I'll do the
Okay,
pretrial release. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the pretrial release is going to have some restrictions as far as they're going to have you report to them. Now, I don't know what other restrictions. The other thing I'm going to do is say you're not to have any hostile contact with the victim. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, it's bond or pretrial release. And then
Contact or
we've
no
got,
contact?
excuse me?
What was the contact you ordered?
No hostile contact.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thanks. Sure. Are you Miguel Angel Perez?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, Mr. Perez, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on false imprisonment, domestic violence, and aggravated battery. Domestic violence, I'll find probable cause, appoint the public defender's office. No, is there any victim there for him?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you live in Kissimmee or you live in Orlando?
Well, I moved to Kissimmee before work
Okay.
at the address that was on file.
All right, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $2,000 on the false imprisonment and $2,000 on the aggravated battery. You're not to have contact with the victim if you make the bond, so you'll have to find some other place to live if you are living with her. Do you understand me?
No, yeah, she don't live at that residence.
Okay, then you don't have to worry about it. You can go back to your own home. Just don't have contact directly or indirectly with the alleged victim. Indirectly means no social media posting and no reaching out to her in any digital form or in person. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much. Are you Mr. Arthur Rainey?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Mr. Rainey, appoint the public defender's office. I'm going to find probable cause on aggravated battery on a pregnant person, domestic violence, and aggravated assault with a firearm, domestic violence. You don't qualify for pretrial release. I am going to set bond on the aggravated battery and pregnant person at $2,000 and the aggravated assault with a firearm at $2,000 as a special condition of the bond. You are to surrender your weapons to the law enforcement officer for whatever jurisdiction you live in. So if you live in the county, Orange County, it's Orange County Sheriff. You live in one of the municipalities, it's whatever their police department is. If you live in the city of Orlando or a Coe or a Popka, it's in their police departments, okay? So firearms got to go to law enforcement.
I don't have
All right.
one.
Okay, well, then you don't have any to surrender. But if you have any, own them or possess them or have access to them, they have to be surrendered. The other special condition is you're not to have direct or indirect contact with the victim, okay?
Yes.
And that means no social media posting and no contact by way of any digital form. All right? Thank you. Then let's see here. I've got Kevin Rivera.
Hello, ma'am.
How are you?
I could do better.
Yeah.
How's Mother's Day going for you?
Well, I'm here. What can I say? So you got arrested and I'll find probable cause on child abuse and dating violence.
Yes.
I'm assuming this is the same victim. It looks like a teenage girlfriend.
Well,
State, is that your understanding of it? Now, Mr. Rivera, your attorney wants me to tell you not to say anything about any alleged facts, okay? So state, it looks like it's a girlfriend. That's the child abuse part. That's an interesting charge. Okay, so I am not going to bother his bonds that he's already out on these other cases, which look like they are 2020 CF 4418, I believe, and 2020 CF 1882. Looks like that was transferred over from a misdemeanor. I'm going to ROR him on the child abuse. You working?
Yes, ma'am. I work at First Watch.
Is that a restaurant?
Yes, ma'am. It's across the street from my house.
All right, I'm going to ROR you on both of these with a special condition you're not to have contact with the alleged victim.
Yes, ma'am.
That means no digital contact. You don't live with her, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
I don't. Wait,
so don't put anything on social media. If she reaches out to you in any form, don't respond to it.
Yes, ma'am.
Have one of your friends tell her that you've been ordered not to have contact with her. You okay?
Yeah, does that mean I'm released to go home today?
Yes, sir.
That's why I'm.
But you've got two other cases you need to keep in contact with the public
Yeah.
defender's office. You're
I
out
am.
on surety bond.
I am, ma'am.
And
On
now
top
you've
of
got
that.
right now you've got this third case. If you get arrested again, another judge may lock you up.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you
All right,
so much.
thank you. You're welcome. Okay, I believe we're in the next batch. Correct. Are you Alexander Alvarez?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on domestic violence battery and resisting an officer without violence.
Your Honor,
It
the
looks-
victim is present
Okay,
and he does qualify.
okay. So the victim in Mr. Alvarez's case, if you please raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
Yes, I do.
Could you tell me your name, please?
Farzana Gampat?
And are you scared of Mr. Alvarez?
No.
You're the victim in the case, correct?
Yes.
All righty. Do you want me to release him?
Yes, please.
Court will, over the strenuous objection of the state, issue an ROR on both counts. Special condition of the ROR is not to have hostile contact with the victim. Okay?
I'm
Everybody
sorry. I didn't know you was that. Okay, yes, I understand. I'm sorry. I saw you looking down.
So both of you guys hear that. You guys are not to get into any more arguments. No hostile contact. All right?
All right.
Thank you very much. And we have is Terry Cooper there, please. Mr. Cooper, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on battery domestic violence. I'll appoint the public defender's office.
do the next one. We'll skip it. I ain't feel do that. I just said bring somebody else in.
All right. Over the strenuous subject, do we have any victim there? No? All right. Over the strenuous subject in the state, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. This is a special condition of it. You're not to have hostile contact with your wife, Danita Cooper. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much.
Take it out. Take it out.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
can we skip Miss Dazzle? Her victim just showed up, so we're going to get them.
Okay. Which case was it?
The next case, Deborah Dazzle.
Okay. Just let me know when you're ready and I'll call that one. You want me to jump ahead to a different person?
Yes, Your Honor. The next one, Stanley Deveros.
Okay. Got it right here. Stanley Deveros. Let's see. Deborah Dazzle is over here. Are you Mr. Deveros?
Yes, Your Honor.
Am I saying your last name correctly?
Yes.
Okay. You've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on battery, domestic violence. I'll appoint the public defender's office. So a pretrial release, it looks like you guys contacted the victim and it advised the defendants.
Yes,
It would be
it
attending?
looks as if they will not be attending, Your Honor.
Okay. Did you get any other input from the victim?
None that was documented.
And sir, are you furloughed right now from Disney?
No, ma'am.
Are you still working for them?
Yes.
Do you have some place to live where Terry Ann is not there?
No, but Terry Ann at my residence right now. She moved back to Sarasota with her baby daddy.
Okay, so you do have a place to live where she's not, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you have your own residence. In other words, you two are not living together.
We're not living together.
Okay. Over the strenuous objection of the state, I'm going to ROR you. As a condition of your ROR, is you're not to have contact with Terry Ann. Her name is T-R-R-I, last name Ann, or maybe that's her middle name.
Denise
What's her last name?
DeRivius.
Brooks?
Last name is Brooks.
Her last name is Brooks, not yours. Right.
Oh,
So Terry Ann Brooks. He's not to have contact with Terry Ann Brooks. Sir, that means don't put anything on any social media posting and don't reach out to her in any form, okay?
thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Miss
Is Jacob Fudd?
Miss
Yes.
Deborah's ready, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm calling up now Deborah Lynn Dazzle, and I understand there's a victim there.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you please raise your right hand, the victim, do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Madam Victim, could you tell me your name, please?
Shira Dazzle, I'm her daughter.
Okay, and are you scared of your mom?
No, ma'am.
Do you want me to release her with no hostile contact?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Dazzle, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on battery, domestic violence. Over the state's strenuous objection, I'll release you on your own recognizance with the proviso that you have no hostile contact with your daughter. All right? All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Keep in contact with the PD after you get out. Have a nice Mother's Day. Okay, you, Mr. Fudge?
Yes, how you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing pretty good. So, Mr. Fudge, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause, appoint the public defender on battery, domestic violence.
Yes, Your Honor.
We have a victim there. And Mr. Fudge, you can go live with your mom, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
There's a hold for Brevard County?
Yes, and Your Honor, there was an update to this.
Yes.
We heard back from the mother, and she stated that he can no longer reside with her, so that verified address is no longer verified.
Okay, so I want to cross that out. Okay, well, Mr. Fudge, it looks like if you bond out, and I'm going to give you a bond, if you bond out, I don't know, will they keep him until Brevard County picks him up, or how do they do that now? With the COVID, I don't know what they do, because I'm not sure they're transporting people. Does the BRC know?
Your Honor, it is a no bond, but I believe that there's been communication between counties.
Right.
So there's a possibility that Brevard's judge will notify one of our judges of how they want to proceed with this case.
Okay. So, Mr. Fudge, what I'm going to do is set the bond on the domestic violence battery. I'm going to set it at $1,000. Special condition is you're not to have contact with the victim. So if you do make the bond and you do get released, you're not to have contact with Chastity Cotto, C-O-T-T-O. All right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you very much. Make sure you keep in contact with the public defender. Thanks. Is Danny Richardson there?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Richardson, you've been arrested. I'll find probable cause on battery.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the public defender. I don't know why they didn't charge you with domestic violence. They're saying he's been in a relationship for 12 years. It doesn't say DV. Maybe that's just an error. Okay, so Mr. Richardson, I'm going to set your bonds. Let me see. Of average. All right. As a special condition of your bond, it's going to be no contact with the victim. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you live with the victim?
No, she have her own apartment, ma'am.
Okay, well, you need to not be at her apartment. I'll set the bond. Do you have a job?
Yes, ma'am. I was on furlough. I go back to work Tuesday. I ain't been working.
Can you make a bond?
No, ma'am. I go back to work Tuesday.
Pre-trial release, does he qualify? It says no.
He was not recommended, Your Honor.
Is that because of his record?
And previous history with the same victim.
If I order it, would he get released on pretrial release?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what I'll do. Over pretrial release's objection, I'll still order it. So I'm going to order you on pretrial release. The special condition is you're not to have contact directly or indirectly with the victim. That
Yes,
allows
ma'am.
you to get out of here so you can go to work.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Staff over here, guys. Excuse me. Are you Ms. Walker?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to appoint the public defender. You've been arrested, and I'll find probable cause on battery, domestic violence. And let's see here. Where do you live?
Hold on, Your Honor.
Okie dokie. Excuse me. Not sick, I just have a tickle in my throat.
Just say, where do you live? Can you hear? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
That's better? Okay. So you've been arrested, and I'll find probable cause on domestic violence battery.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the victim there?
No, Your Honor.
No, ma'am.
So, Ms. Walker, where do you live?
I live with a family member right now.
Okay, and that's here in Orlando?
Yes, ma'am.
How long had you been in Orlando for?
At
at that particular address around like 3 or 4 months.
And how long in Central Florida have you been here?
All my life.
So pretrial release, it says doesn't qualify, but it looks like it's because she has a lack of history for residence.
Yes, Your Honor, looks like she didn't qualify due to a lack of community ties.
Do you have some place to go, Ms. Walker?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that someplace other than where the alleged victim lives? Is the victim your mother or your daughter?
My mom.
Mom? Is there some place you can live that you're not living with your mom?
No, I don't live with my mom.
You don't?
No.
Are you employed?
No.
Can you afford a bond?
I was gonna. A family member was gonna try to help me get out. My aunt.
Over the strenuous objection of the state, the court's going to release you on your own recognizance as a special condition of the ROR. You should not to have contact with your mom directly or indirectly. She calls you on Mother's Day. What can I say? But you don't call her.
No.
All right, let your family members know that you're not to have contact with your mom, that court ordered it that way, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
That's an ROR. It's over the state's strenuous objection. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I think my next batch is, are you Mr. Blackman?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Blackman, you're being charged, and I'll find probable cause, appoint the public defender, with grand theft motor vehicle, possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting an officer without violence, possession of cocaine, and driving with a license suspended or revoked as a habitual offender. You're out on bond right now on 2 misdemeanor cases, which I will leave intact. Appoint the public defender. Are you going to be able to make bond on these? The bonds that were set to begin with, 1,000, 500, 500, 1,000, and 2,500?
I don't know. I went to court for that.
Do you have a job?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, so what the court will do is I'm going to leave the bond as set on counts 1, 2, 3, and count 4. I'll reduce that to 500, and count 5, I'll reduce that to 500. Now, he's out on bond. Do you want me to revoke the bond, PD, or leave him? Do you think you can make the bond as reduced?
I think so. I'm not sure.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is leave the other bonds intact, and the public defender's office will discuss with you whether or not you can make the new bonds, whether or not you want to stay out on bonds on the other cases, or what you want to do. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. So, hang on just a second. The clerk's ahead of me, so I got to catch up to her. Okay, are you Mr. Bowman?
Yes, Your Honor.
All righty. Hang on a second, I'm still signing stuff.
Happy Mother's Day, Your Honor.
Well, thank you very much. This is not what I had planned on doing, but this is what I'm doing. Okay, sir, it looks like you're out on bond right now on a burglary of a structure, and it also looks like you're out on bond on reckless fleeing and eluding, and also resisting an officer without violence. You have been arrested on a new law offense of some kind of traffic thing. State, do you know what these charges are, the traffic offenses are?
No,
Honor,
Oh,
I'm not positive what the charges are for the traffic offenses. However, I
Looks like
did
hit and
get
hit.
notified
Uh-huh.
to request to revoke bonds
Okay.
because he's currently out on 20 CF 333, 20 CF 1325, and 20 MM 768.
But
He previously violated conditions of release when he was arrested on number 2 and 3 above.
it looks like the new law offense is hit and run, failing to stop, remaining at a crash involving injury to others, a serious bodily injury, and a moving traffic violation, operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. At least that's what this arrest report says.
Yes.
But I can't tell what the tickets are. Do you think those are for the same thing?
It's possible.
Yes, that's it. Crash leaving the scene on public, private property without rendering aid, death, or injury, and no valid driver's license, may have never had one issued.
The
So,
defendant is a flight risk. He allegedly fled from law enforcement by car and on foot in 2 of the cases that I just mentioned, and leaving the scene of the accident, he fled that scene also. He's a danger to the public as he fled law enforcement at high rates of speed, over 100 miles per hour on public roads. In the instant case, he fled a crash scene, which involved a victim who was injured. Say Avers that the defendant continued to flout the rules of the road by driving without a valid license, despite evidence showing that the defendant has never held a valid license. This assertion is coming from corresponding information with New York, where the defendant resided prior to Florida.
is there any kind of warrant out of New York? Or that's just his prior history?
That's just his prior history. I'm unaware of any warrant.
Okay, so Mr. Bowman, I am going to find probable cause on this 2 traffic-related charges. The bond on the hit and run is at $2,500. The bond on the move no valid driver's license is $500. However, I will revoke your bond on the cases that you're out on bond on. And specifically, those are case number 2020 CF 333AO, 2020 CF 1325AO, and 2020 MM 768AO. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you on these new cases. All right, good luck. Thank you very
Honor?
much.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Also, he's also here on 2020 CF 5744AO.
Oh, thank you. I got that one. That was right under it. So I'm going to find probable cause, point to public defender on destroying evidence or altering, destroying, concealing something, evidence. I'll set the bond in that case at $1,000.
Your Honor,
Yes?
when the accident did happen, I
You
tried to
probably
move the
should
car
not
out of the
You
way.
really should not say anything, sir, about the facts of the case, because you're being recorded, and your attorney, if they were standing next to you, would tell you not to say anything. So you make sure you discuss it with your attorney, or write them a letter, call them on the phone, do something, but don't discuss it in open court while you're on the record, okay?
Is there any way I can keep those 2 bonds, please?
No, sir. No, sir. Nope. No, sir. Thank you. Robert Campbell.
Yes, how you doing, ma'am? How you doing, Your Honor?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm trying to get caught up with the clerk. Sign. Yeah. Information, just trying not to throw them away. Put that there. Okay, so Mr. Campbell, sorry, it looks like you're out on bond and possession of meth. And you're being charged, and I'll find probable cause in possession of firearm by convicted felon. That bond is, let's see what this says. Are you working, Mr. Campbell?
No, ma'am. Unfortunately, not right now, ma'am.
Okay.
But if you do decide to lower it a little bit, I'll probably be able to make it. Like you say, I have that open case, but ma'am, I don't really cause no trouble. And if you look at that affidavit real good, you see I never possessed the pistol. There's no way I did. Because at first you got one officer saying I flee in the car. Then you got one officer say he seen me from leave behind some bushes. Like, it was mixed up. I never got caught with no firearm on me, ma'am. I was over there visiting my lady. That's it. I'm trying to Mother's Day. That's what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? I got family, kids, and I've been out of trouble for a year and a half since I've been home. I ain't been causing no trouble in Orlando, Florida, man.
Okay, give me a second.
So you got two different officers saying one thing. One say I left for flee the car. Oh yeah, I'm just.
Give me a second to read it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to leave the bond intact on the cases he's out on bond, and that is on, I'm not exactly sure what case number it is. It looks like 2020 CF 767, right? Leave that intact. Court's going to set bond, in this case, possession of firearm by convicted felon at $1,000. That's over the strenuous objection of the state, and I will wait the public defender's office.
Thank you. Have a happy Mother's Day, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you. Is Mr. Joshua Castillo there?
Your Honor.
Okie dokie. How about Mr. Coquirla? Did I say it right? I know I did.
It's Crocker. Yeah, it's French.
Coquery. Thank you. Sorry about that.
It's fine.
Definitely massacre a name. So, sir, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on resisting without violence, petty theft, and possession of controlled substance. Let me find your thing here. Sorry. I've got too many piles of paper up here. I'll find probable cause, appoint the public defender's office. He doesn't qualify under a pretrial release?
No, Your Honor. He has an outstanding warrant out of Marion County, Indiana.
Ooh. Are they transporting people across? Are we doing the same thing with that as we are with the other holds where the judges communicate?
No, Your Honor. We got confirmation from Marion County that they will not extradite, but it's still considered another legal constraint.
Okay, I follow you. All right, so I'm going to find probable cause. I'm going to set bond. Do you have a job?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I will start back in construction. I was working in Checker inside a Walmart.
Checkers?
Yes,
Fast
inside a
food?
Walmart.
Oh. Okay. Over the strenuous objection of the state, the court's going to, based on these allegations, going to release you on your own recognizance. All right? Make sure you keep in contact with the public defender.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Are you Mr. Davis?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Davis, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on possession of cocaine. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Mr. Davis, hang on a second. Get caught up on this stuff.
He qualifies, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Davis, here's your choice. I can give you a bond, $1,000, or you can go out on pretrial release. Pretrial release, there is some restrictions. You got to report to them. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you want to go out on pretrial release? Let them know so they'll sign you out.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll put them on pretrial release. Thank you very much. I'll appoint the public defender. Make sure you keep in contact with the public defender.
Yes,
All right?
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. We're here?
Yes.
That would be better.
Yes.
Are you Mr. DeLeonardis?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And are you Mr. Ford?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Ford, you've been arrested, driving with license revoked as habitual offender. Yeah, let me get you here. It says he's below average, but he does not qualify for a pretrial release. Is that right?
He declined to participate with the interview, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
You're right.
Your Honor, would you have any objections to an RR in this case? Jace Thompson for the Public Defender's Office.
Okay.
It's a low-level offense. It's non-violent. And with the ongoing pandemic, the defense will ask for an RR in this case.
State has no objection, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Ford, court's going to release you on an ROR. Make sure you keep in contact with the Public Defender's Office. So if they file the charges, you'll know about it. All right?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Is Michael Garrett there? Mr. Garrett? Ford? Mr. Garrett, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. This is 2020 CF 5653. Is there a second case here? Now, it looks like a warrant. Let's see what the judge did. Looks like he got picked up on a warrant. Did they set the bond already? How did they do that? So, pretrial release, looks like Mr. Garrett does not qualify for pretrial release, is that right?
Your Honor, being that he was picked up on a warrant, he hasn't been interviewed, but we could certainly screen him for eligibility.
Well, you know, the warrant usually has bonds on it, and I can't find one on this one. Oh, they put 0. Okay.
Regular bond?
I don't, he doesn't look like he's, locally, doesn't look like he's got much of a record.
I ain't been in jail 15 years.
So, Mr. Garrett,
Yes, ma'am.
got a job?
Not this time because of COVID-19.
Do you expect your job to open back up again? Because we're opening back up.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm going to set a bond. I'm going to set a bond, or I'm going to say, or if qualified, pretrial release. So they'll interview you, and if you do qualify for pretrial release, you can go out that way. If not, I'll put the bond at $1,000. Okay?
Okay.
So interview with them, and if you qualify, then you'll get out pretrial release. If not, you'll have to post a $1,000 bond.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Thank you. Is Mr. Grant there? Mr. Grant?
Yes.
You're out on bond. Right now, I'll find probable cause. You've been arrested on possession of MDMA, ecstasy, and providing false identification of a law enforcement officer. And you're out on bond currently. I'll leave that bond intact. You have a job?
No.
All right. I'm going to set the bond at $1,000 on count 1 and $100 on count 2. So if you post your bond, make sure you keep in contact with the public defender. All right? Thank you. Mr. Hackett?
Medical, Your Honor.
Did you understand her? Medical, okay.
Medical.
That's all right. Thank you. Is Mr. Hall there? Mr. Hall, I'll find probable cause and appoint the public defender's office. You've been arrested on possession of cocaine, possession of cannabis, and possession of drug paraphernalia. It looks like are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes.
What are you doing?
I work in construction for the hotel that I was currently used to stay at.
Okay, do you still have that job if you get out?
Yes, ma'am. I need to be
All
there
right.
tomorrow morning.
All right, the court over the strenuous objection, the state will issue an ROR. Make sure you keep in contact with the public defender's office so that they'll keep you advised of what's going on with your case. All right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is Jamie Matthews there?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Matthews, I'll find probable cause. You've been arrested on possession of burglary tools, petty theft, and burglary of a conveyance. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Mr. Matthews, it looks like. Are you on probation right now, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll set bond on the burglary of a conveyance at $2,000 and the possession of burglary tools at $150 and the petty theft at $100. If you make your bond, make sure you make, now this says that he's qualified for pretrial release. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You can either post the bond or go out on pretrial release.
I'll do pretrial release.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Or, yes, I very rarely do both. Okay, are you Mr. Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Miller, you're being charged, and I'll find probable cause on burglary of a structure, criminal mischief. Appoint the public defender's office. Says he is not qualified under pretrial release, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Let's see. I'll set bond on burglary of a structure at $1,000 and criminal mischief at $100. If you make your bond, make sure you keep in contact with the public defender. All right? Thank you. Is Jose Mendoza Diaz there?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Mendoza Diaz, you are being charged, and I'll find probable cause on possession of cocaine and possession of cannabis. I'll appoint the public defender's office. He does qualify for pretrial release. I'll set your bond at $1,100 or pretrial release. Okay? Go with pretrial release.
Okay.
Thank you. And is Mr. Aquiles Colazo there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did I say it right? Okay, sir, you're being charged with possession of cocaine and attempted destruction of evidence. I'll find probable cause, appoint the public defender's office. Does he not qualify for pretrial release?
No, Your Honor, he's on county probation.
Okay. Do you have a job?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What are you doing?
I work for mill sales. I'm a CNC operator.
A what kind of operator?
CNC operator, mills wholesales. We build frames for doors and construction sites.
Okay. Over the strenuous objection of the state, I'm going to ROR you on both counts. Make sure you keep in contact with the public defender. Okay?
Thank you.
Welcome. Is Mr. Searcy there? Skiersey? I'm sure I massacred that. Sorry. How do you say your last name?
Cecily.
Cecily. All right, Mr. Cecily, you've been arrested, and I will find probable cause on possession of a weapon or firearm by convicted felon and second count of the same thing. Hang on just a second. I saw news. He does qualify for pretrial release, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set bond on count 1 at $2,000 and count 2 at $150 or pretrial release. You want to go pretrial release?
What
post
does
bond?
that qualify under? Like, what do I have to do for that?
I don't know. I guess show up and talk to him and report to him.
Pre-trial, I'll take that.
Okay. All right, make sure you keep in contact with the public defenders. Thank you.
Any conditions, Your Honor?
No, ma'am, no, just your normal conditions. Thank you. Are you Mr. Simpson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Simpson, You are being charged, and I'll find probable cause with carrying a concealed firearm, resisting arrest without violence, and driving with license suspended. Duelist, you're out right now and carrying a concealed firearm. Ooh. Mr. Simpson, you're out for the same thing. And it looks like you had a firearm by a minor back when you were a juvenile. Firearms seem to haunt you. The first appearance detainer is for the being out on the bond, is that it?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have a job?
Yes, I work for Carvana Freaks Warehouse.
Okay. Okay, I'm not going to revoke your bond. I am going to set bond on these other cases. The carrying a concealed firearm is $1,000, and the resisting without violence will be $150, and the driving license suspended will be $150. Now, Mr. Simpson, if you post those bonds and you get yourself arrested again, you could end up with a judge that revokes the bonds.
Yes,
Understand
ma'am.
me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Now I am at, is Maria Luna?
Yes, that's my name.
You, Ms. Luna, I'm going to find, you've been arrested on failing to appear. It's a capias on a trespass, $1,000 bond. Does she have a public defender? Is that something that's pleable and get rid of it?
What is the Ms. Luna?
Yes, her case number is 2020 MM225. Trespass, that's not enhanceable, is it? I don't think it is. As the court would offer, is she would be willing to enter a plea to credit for time served and get rid of this case altogether. Obviously, she's got more than one day in. She's been picked up more than once. She's probably got 4 days at the minimum. Thank you. The state, she's got a total of 6 days credit for time served. If she wanted to enter a plea, the court would adjudicate her and give her 6 days credit for time served, reduce the fees and cost of judgment. PD, you okay? You don't see any competency issues or anything like that? Okay. So, Ms. Luna, if you would like to enter a plea of no contest to the charge that you're being held on right now, the trespass on occupied structure, refusing to leave, that's a 1-year misdemeanor. The court would give you 6 days with credit for time served of 6 days. Okay?
Okay.
Is that what you want to do?
Me?
Ms.
I
Luna,
don't
can-
really understand the process.
Okay, so let me do this. I'm going to swear you in first, then I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. Can you hear me okay?
Am I gonna leave, then come back to court, and then
Nope.
pay for the 6
Nope.
days? I mean, how am I gonna do it? That's why I don't understand.
No, that's what I'm going to explain to you.
Okay.
So raise your right hand for me. Okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
I swear on to.
Okay. So Miss Luna,
Yes.
all the time, you can put your hand down. All the times you come to court, you have now accumulated 6 days of jail time. If you want to enter a plea of no contest to the charge, I will adjudicate you guilty and give you 6 days in the county jail with credit for time served of 6 days, so you will be released today. There'll be no more court case involving
Will be
this
released
trespass. So you're done today if you want to enter a plea. Now,
Okay,
if you
yeah.
don't want to, okay, hold on, let me finish telling you. If you don't want to accept the court's offer, I will release you on your own recognizance and tell you have to come back to court. Okay? But I don't know if another judge will give you the
Come
same
back
offer.
to court for what though?
For the same trespass charge, because apparently you got some kind of trespass charge and you didn't show up for court. Let me tell you when it was. I can find it on this piece of paper.
Okay.
The date. It looks like you failed to come to court on the 9th day of March, 2020, just before we shut down the court. You were supposed to come into court for a trespass charge. You were supposed to be, they sent you mail at general delivery. My guess is they don't have your address. And it was some type of trespass. So, what I am suggesting, if you want to enter a plea, you don't have to. I'm going to release you today no matter what you do.
Okay.
If you want to enter a plea today to that trespass charge, a plea of no contest, court will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to the time that you've already served. The fees and costs that will be imposed will be reduced to judgment, so you will not have a payment schedule. Okay, you'll have a lien, but not a payment schedule. And that will be the end of this case. If you do not want to accept the court's offer, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance and tell you to call the public defender's office to find out when your next court date is. But you'll have to come back to court.
I think I'll accept the offer. I'm sorry.
Is that what you want to do, accept the offer?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
now, Ms. Luna, I'm going to explain all of
Maybe
your
not,
rights.
maybe not. Do I have time to decide if I leave today and then come back to court and stuff? Or
Yeah, I tell you what, let me have you step back from the podium and just stay right there in the courtroom and you think about it while I talk to all these other people. Let me handle their cases and I'll call you back up in a few minutes, okay? Thanks.
Your Honor,
Do you think she has competency issues?
competency.
Yep, okay, we'll call her back in a few minutes. She might just be scared. We'll see. Are you Miguel Alvarado?
No.
Nope. Let's see.
What name?
Alvarado?
I don't have,
Miguel Alvarado? It's
I don't have the name.
Or just-
Do you have a jail number?
it's a ticket. That, okay. It's participating in an unlawful race.
2001091 is his inmate number.
Did you guys get that?
Posted bond, He bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you Mr. Stanley Benoit?
He bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. How about Katie, Brian Katie?
Yes.
That's you. Okay, Mr. Katie, you have a couple different cases here. Hang on for a second. Let me get through them. Oh, there you are. So, Mr. Katie, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on a DUI with prior convictions and refusal to submit to a breath DUI case. Looks like you were out on bond on the DUI. If I read this correctly, then you have, and that is case number. Okay, so that's a correction form. This is 2020 CT 2954 and 2020 CT 2955. Then you have one that's 2020 MM 3406, which is resisting an officer without violence. I'll find probable cause, point the public defender on both the DUI and the resisting without. Is this him? No, that's it. So I just have the 2 CT cases and 1 MM case, right? Okay. So, Mr. Katie. It looks like on the refusal, your bond is set at $100. The DUI, is it corrected to 1,000? Is that what that means?
The DUI.
Is it 1,000? Okay. And then the resisting without violence is 100. Can you make those bonds?
Not as of right now.
Are you employed?
No. I mean, I work convention center. Of course, there's not working right now.
You work at what center?
I do convention center work. Of course, they're shut down now, so no, I'm not working right now.
Okay. Yeah, they're not going to open for a while. Pretrial release, he doesn't qualify?
Your Honor, we were unable to verify his community ties or exactly where his residence is at the time of interview. We could certainly re-interview him.
Do you have a place to live?
Yeah, my sister's house. Actually, I'm staying with a friend, and she's in the hospital. I took her to the hospital that night, and there's a cat in the house, too, there's no one there at the house. So, I mean, it's 8922 Fighting Irish Lane is where I reside.
All right, so what I'm going to do is set the bond or pretrial release, and you talk to pretrial release. If you qualify, you can go out that way, and that won't cost you any money. All right, I'm going to set the bond of resisting without violence at $500, and the DUI, it's at $100,000, but I'm going to reduce it down to $500, and the refusal to submit at $100, or pretrial release. So if you can qualify for a pretrial release, you can get out that way. All right, I've appointed the public defender. Make sure you keep in contact with them if you do bond out.
Thank you.
All right? Thank you. And do we have Isaiah Freeman? No?
He bonded, Your Honor.
Okie dokie, thank you. Then my next one is Aziel Gonzalez.
What's the name, Your Honor?
Gonzalez, Aziel.
Okay, do we have a jail number?
Help me with it, hang on.
2001-0984.
He bonded, Your Honor.
Bonded, Your Honor.
Perfect, thank you. How about Hoover, Jeffrey Hoover?
Refuse, Your Honor.
Okay, mental health.
No, refusal. Refusal.
Refusal, okay, thank you.
More?
Now my next one is Moore, Barbara Lynn Moore.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you Ms. Moore?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Moore, you've been arrested on a DUI, damage to property of person of another. I'll appoint the public defender and find probable cause. Let's see where you are here. Hang on a second, Ms. Moore.
You said I damaged property?
Yeah, that are a person. So I'm not sure which. Pretrial release, is it possible she might qualify after you interview her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and Ms. Moore, do you have a job?
I used to.
Is that, you don't have it because of COVID or because of this crash? Or
I
whatever?
don't have it because of COVID. We actually just started getting Harris. Harris, I do lunches. I work for a catering company. All of our weddings canceled.
Yeah.
We do SpaceX. We do NASA launches. We do.
So you do catering, wait staff?
I'm sorry?
Are you a wait staff person or a cook?
I do both.
Okay.
I set up, I get the contracts.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to set your bond at $500 or pretrial release. I think when you interview with them that you might qualify for pretrial release. I don't show, let me see, hang on. Can you make that bond?
Can I? I don't have anybody's phone numbers.
All right. So pre-trial release, can you interview her?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you live here or in Rockledge?
I live in Rockledge.
Does she qualify if she lives out of the county?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So interview with the pre-trial release people. And if you qualify, you'll get out that way. If not, you can post a bond, I hope. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And next, do we have Denzel Moxie?
Do you have a jail number?
Yeah, hang on.
Bonded.
Oh, bonded? Okay, thank you.
Your Honor.
It looks as
Yes?
if he posted bond, Your Honor. However, he does have a immigration hold.
We can't hear.
Your Honor, it looks as though he did post bond. However, he does have an immigration hold.
Okay, thank
We'll
you.
have him brought.
What's his name?
Denzel Moxie.
We'll
Moxie?
Your Honor, we'll have him brought up so you could take care of that. We'll have him brought him up and put him at the end of the docket.
Okay, perfect. I will get rid of that then. Okay, what do I do with it? Yeah, he's right there. Okay, we'll put him at the back. So we have Adams Briones, Mark Adams Briones. I see that we have Miss Luna back.
Yes, Your Honor, she's ready. Come on.
Ms. Luna, have you had a chance to think about what my offer is to you?
Yes, can you repeat the offer
Yep.
one more time?
Ms. Luna, you're still under oath. What would you like to do?
I would like to come back to court.
Say again?
I would like to come back to court after I leave.
Okay, so make sure you make an appointment with a public defender when you get out. Over the strenuous subjection of the state, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. Okay?
Okay, thank
All right,
you.
thank you very much. Dewey is, what's this gentleman's name? I can't hear you.
Devon Banks Peacock.
I can't hear.
Devon Banks Peacock.
Which one? Oh, got it right here. Right in front of me. If it was a snake, it would have bit me. Okay, Mr. Devon Banks Peacock, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on violating, is it like violating a curfew? Healthy,
I mean,
health, safety, hold on a second. State, what is this?
I can tell you.
Guess that it is a
COVID thing?
Yeah.
Like a curfew violation or not having a mask on or something?
No, it was a curfew. He got there, but I have my letter. I travel all across the country doing cell phone towers. I was just moving into my house that day. He just hit the block and pulled up on me at my house, and we were still moving in. And I just got back to Florida Friday night. I went to jail Friday morning because of his. He just pulled up on me.
Right? You have
Excuse
a job?
me? Yeah, I
You
work
have a
for
job?
Dish Network Wireless. Yes.
All right, over the strenuous subjection of the state, I'm going to find probable cause, I'm going to appoint the public defender, and I'm going to ROR you. Release you on your own recognizance.
Okay, I have a question for you real quick, if you don't
Yes.
mind. I have
Sure.
a hold in Tampa that I'm trying to pay for. They're trying to pay for it, but it won't pop up on the system. I need to go ahead and so it can pop up, so I can go ahead and I was supposed to see my lawyer Monday about that. I just got back to Florida Friday. I had a deed.
Because of COVID, they're doing different things with holds anymore. It used to be they would hold you until they transported you. If there's a bond on the hold, you can post the bond. Can you tell? if
They
there's
were
bond
looking
on
for it. They can't find it. That's what they're trying to do.
Pre-trial, have you guys been able to locate the hold?
Yes, Your Honor. He has a warrant out of Hillsborough County, which will not be served on him until he's satisfied local charges.
Okay, so I've ROR'd him.
So the
Would
warrant
that
will
be a
be served on.
satisfaction?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
If he posts bond on this, the Hillsborough County warrant will be served.
Do you know if there's a bond on the Hillsborough County warrant?
Yes, $5,000.
Okay, so that's what the bond is to serve it, to post it. So I've ROR'd you on this. That'll give you the opportunity to post that bond or they'll serve it on you, okay?
Okay, all right.
All right, so make sure, no matter what happens, whenever you get out and you handle the thing with Tampa, make sure you keep in contact with the public defender's office because this case is here. And I've ROR'd you. So eventually you'll get a court date on it. Don't forget about it.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Are you Mr. Adams Briones?
What's the name, Your Honor?
Adams, and then another word after that, Briones, Briones.
Bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you Mr. Burks?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Burks, you've been charged, and I'll find probable cause on trespass, failure to leave property upon order of the owner. If you want to enter a plea today to the court's going to adjudicate you guilty and give you credit for time served.
Yes.
Is that what you'd like to do?
Yes.
Okay, sir, if you please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Burks, do you understand the maximum sentence you could receive by entering a plea of no contest is a year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine?
Yes.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're giving up your right to assert any defenses that you might have and your right to go to a jury trial where the state would have to prove the allegation beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt?
Yes.
Do you understand if you're not a citizen, you'll be deported based on this plea?
Yes.
Do you understand if you have in your past a violent sexual felony, this plea could result in a civil petition being filed to ask to have you committed?
Yes.
Is anybody forcing you or threatening you to get you to enter this plea?
No.
I'll find a free and voluntary plea. I'll accept the plea based on the allegations contained in the complaint. There's a factual basis for the plea. Anything else from anybody? Court will adjudicate him guilty, sentence him to credit for time served. Fees and costs will be imposed. We'll reduce those to judgment for which let execution issue. Got all that? All right. The last thing I got to tell you, Mr. Burks, is if you would like to appeal today's decision here today, you can file a written notice of appeal. That has to be done within 30 days. If you wait beyond 30 days, it's too late to appeal. Do you understand that? All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye. You're welcome. All right. Is Mr. Hernandez Cervantes there? I couldn't hear.
Medical, Your
Medical?
Honor.
Okay, thank you. Is Mr. Lang there?
Yes, ma'am.
You're Mr. Lang?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor.
Sir, you've been arrested and you're being charged with petty theft. I'll appoint the public defender's office, find probable cause. Let me see here.
There has been an additional detainer added, Your Honor. He's out on an NTA for 2020 MM 3125.
You know what the charge is on that one?
Yes, Your Honor, petty theft.
And he does not qualify for pretrial release, I do not believe.
No, he doesn't, Your Honor. He has an outstanding.
All right, so Mr. Lang, this is a petty theft, so the state has to contact the victims. I would not have any offer for you. I am going to appoint the public defender's office and put your bond at $250. So he's currently out on bond on another case? Or there's a
I believe so.
Can you make that $250 bond, Mr. Lang?
No, ma'am. I'm not out on bond. I was just given a citation to come to court. I was never arrested on the other charge.
Could somebody give me that case number again? I'll look it up.
2020 MM 003125 AO.
3125 AO. All right.
Your Honor.
Do you show when it was issued?
In my system, I have April 17th.
How can they do that? We didn't have court.
Not sure.
Is the public defender represent him? That's what happened. They sent out a notice. They didn't have court, and then they did failures to appear. I don't understand that.
Yeah, there was no court.
I know there was no court. I was there. I'm definitely aware of the fact that we hadn't had court. Okay, so let me figure out how to do this. It says mandatory court appearance, notice to appear, but I don't show a capias issued.
No, Your Honor, it's not a warrant, it's an open case. His hearing is set for May 19th.
At 1 o'clock.
Correct.
All right. So, Mr. Lang,
Yes, ma'am.
you've got another case. I'm going to appoint the public. Can we go on the record on the other case? Yeah, it's in 2020 MM 3125AO. Mr. Lang, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office in that case to represent you. There's an arraignment set right now on May 19th at 1 p.m. in courtroom 4C as in cat. Okay, that's on the 4th floor of the courthouse.
Yes, ma'am.
The courthouse is now open, but you have to not have a temperature and you have to have a mask. And so you need to come to court for that. Unless the public defender tells you that they're going to waive his presence, but I'm not sure they'll know before the 19th of May. That's like a week away.
Yes, ma'am.
In this case, I'm going to also appoint the public defender, so I'm going to release you on your own recognizance in this case. Thank you. And I'm signing the order right now to appoint them on the other case. So the public defender represents you in both cases, okay?
So you said there's no plea for this case?
No, I can't offer to because the state has to have contact with the victim on any kind of theft charges. Now with the Marcy's law, they have an obligation to contact the victim. So there's no plea offer. But I am releasing you. You have your other case. Now you've got 2 cases pending. Okay?
Okay. Oh, so I am getting released?
Say again? So you're getting released today,
All right,
but you've got 2 cases pending, so you have to come back to court.
Yes,
all
ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm going to ROR. I'm going to ROR. Change it to an ROR. Okay, is Douglas Martin there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Mr. Martin, hang on just a second. Let me get caught up. There you are. Sir, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on trespass on property after warning.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing you've got. If you want to enter a plea here today, the court will adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for time served. I will impose fees and costs and reduce those to judgment for which let execution issue. Would you like to enter a plea? If you don't want to enter a plea, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance and let you come back to court.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, sorry, I'm saying so fast. So you have 2 choices.
Yeah.
Either choice is going to result in you leaving the jail today.
Right.
Choice number 1 is you plead no contest to the charge and I'm going to adjudicate you guilty and give you credit for time served. There will be fees and costs, but I will reduce those to judgment. So if you own property, your property is going to get liened. Your other choice is you don't want to enter a plea and I will release you on your own recognizance and you will need to come back to court at some future time. I don't know when. What would you like to do?
Second choice.
Okay, so court will release your ROR. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you in the case. Make sure you keep in contact with them and they will let you know when you need to come back to court to face the charges. Okay?
Yeah, got you.
All right, thank you very much. Is LaShonda Morgan there?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Ms. Morgan. You're being charged with resisting an officer without violence and possession of cannabis. I'm going to find probable cause and appoint the public defender's office. Okay, let me look here, Ms. Morgan. This is... all right, Ms. Morgan.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not qualified for pretrial release. Over the strenuous objection of the state, the court's going to, based on these allegations, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Make sure you keep in contact with the public defender,
Okay.
so you'll know when to come back to court.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks. Then we have, I believe, Milton,
Yes, ma'am.
Nadal Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
Did I say it right?
Yeah, ma'am.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so you're being charged, sir, with trespass on property after warning. Mr. Nadal Gonzalez, I'm going to give you the same choice I did the last gentleman. I don't think you were in the room when it happened, but if you want to enter a plea of no contest to that charge, the court's going to give you credit for time served and impose fees and costs and reduce those to judgment. Or if you don't want to do that, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance and you'll have to come back to court.
Yeah,
What would you like to do?
I get the plea.
Okay, so if you please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
I swear I affirm. No, the whole
That's fine. All you have to do is say yes or no, okay?
Yes.
Thanks.
Right.
All right, so Mr. Nadal Gonzalez, do you understand that you're going to enter a plea of no contest to the charge of trespass on property after warning? The maximum sentence on that case that you could receive is a year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that by entering a plea of no contest, you're giving up your right to assert any defenses and your right to go to a jury trial where the state would have to prove the allegation beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that if you're not a citizen, you would be deported based on this plea alone?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you have in your past a violent sexual felony, this plea could result in a civil petition being filed to ask to have you committed.
Yes, ma'am.
Right now, has anybody forced you or threatened you in any way to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medicines?
No, ma'am.
Anybody forcing you?
No, ma'am.
I'll find a free and voluntary plea. I'll accept the plea based on the allegations contained in the complaint. There's a factual basis for it. Anything more from anybody regarding sentencing? Court hearing nothing. Court will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to credit for time served. Fees and costs will be imposed. I'll reduce that to judgment for which let execution issue. Mr. Nadal Gonzalez, if you would like to appeal this court's order here today, the sentence, you may do so by filing a written notice of appeal within 30 days. Do you understand all that?
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thanks. Then do we have Javaris Sands?
Refuse, Your Honor.
You refused?
Yes, Your Honor, refuse.
Okay, thanks. Then who else do I have? Because I've run out of sheets. Yep, over here. I got another stack. Okay, Larry Watson. Mr. Watson, you're there? Hang on.
Yes, ma'am.
This one. I got to get caught up, Mr. Watson. There you are. Mr. Watson, I'm going to find probable cause. Appoint the public defender if possible, if necessary. You're being charged with trespass on property after warning. I'm giving you the same choices I just gave Mr. Nadal Gonzalez. You can either enter a plea, get credit for time served, or if you don't want to enter a plea, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance and you'll have to come back to court. What would you like to do?
Will you repeat that, please, ma'am?
Sure. You can enter a plea to the charge, and I will offer you credit for time served. I would impose the fees and costs and reduce those to judgment. Or if you don't want to enter a plea today, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, which means you are out of jail without posting a bond, but you will have to come back to court in the future to face these charges.
Okay, the plea, that would be no contest, right?
Yes, sir. It's a plea of no contest.
Okay.
I would adjudicate you guilty and take any fees and costs and reduce those to judgment.
Okay.
Is that what you'd like to do? Or do you want to fight the charges and I'll release you today without any bond? You'll be ROR and you can come back to court and fight the charges.
No, ma'am, I don't want to do that.
Okay, you want to plead no contest?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
if you please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Are you Larry Watson?
Yes, ma'am.
You're entering a plea of no contest to the charge of trespass on property after warning. That's a 1-year misdemeanor, which means the maximum sentence you could receive, not the one you're going to receive, but the maximum you could receive is a year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. By entering a plea of no contest, you're giving up your right to assert any defenses that you might have and your right to go to a jury trial where the state would have to prove the allegations beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a citizen, you would be deported based on this plea alone?
No, I mean, I am.
You're a citizen, so you don't need to worry about it. But I got to tell that to everybody, okay?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Do you understand if you have in your past a violent sexual felony that this plea could result in a civil petition being filed to have you committed?
That's not me either, so.
Okay. I have to warn everybody.
Okay.
Okay. Has anybody forced you or threatened you in any way to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or medicines?
No.
I'll find a free and voluntary plea. I'll accept the plea based on the allegations contained in the complaint. There's a factual basis for it. Anything else from anybody? Court will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to credit for time served. Fees and costs will be imposed. I'll reduce those to judgment for which let execution issue. Mr. Watson, if you would like to appeal the sentence here today, you may do so by filing a written notice of appeal. If you file that written notice of appeal, it has to be done within 30 days. Otherwise, it's too late to appeal. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck. Thank you very much.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see. And then do I have Mr. Island, Keith Island?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just a second. Mr. Island, you've got an out-of-county warrant. Let me see where that's from. Polk County?
Yes, ma'am.
So do we show if there's a bond on it? So, Mr. Island, since the COVID's been going around, the way they do out-of-county bonds or holds is the judges here contact the judge in Polk County and try to figure out if they can give you a bond or release you or what they're going to do, because they're not necessarily transporting people right now.
Okay.
So we're going to hold you. It looks like there is no bond on that out-of-county hold, so you'll remain with us, but I think they put him back on the docket this week, right? So the judge's judicial assistant that's normally in county court, I'm not in county court, they will contact the judge in Polk County, okay?
Okay.
We'll appoint the public defender to you on this case to make sure we don't lose you in our jail.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Are you Marquise Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Jones, you also have an out-of-county hold. It looks like yours is in Clay County.
Yes, ma'am.
I think there's a bond of $752.
Yes, ma'am.
So I assume if you post that bond, you'll get out, but that could be a bad assumption. And there may be more than one charge, or maybe more than one bond, more than one warrant. You show only one? Okay. So just like I told the last gentleman, they don't transport people right now with the COVID going on. The judge's JA here in the county court will contact the judge up in Clay County and see how to handle it. In the meantime, if you can post that $752 bond, I believe you can get out.
Yes, ma'am. That's what they told me. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is Michael Macon there?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Macon, you've got out-of-county warrants also, and they look like they are from where? Osceola? Does he have bonds on him? Oh, it looks like, yeah, it looks like you got bond of $9,997, $5,999, and $1,999. Anyway, you've got bonds on them. If you can post the bonds and you get out. In the meantime, if you can't do that, the judge's JA here will contact the judge down in Osceola County and figure out what to do with you. I'll appoint the public defender to make sure you don't get lost. Okay?
No, there's no offers right now.
We don't have the case because it's Osceola. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. And do we have Christopher Suarez?
We have jail number?
Yeah. Christopher Suarez, is he not there?
No, Your Honor, he's not on our docket. You have a jail number?
Zero zero 0982.
He bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. Then the next one I have is LaDavis Williams.
Did you skip Jeffrey Ward, Your Honor?
Oh, no, I got it. It got stuck on the back of something. Jeffrey Ward. Okay, Mr. Ward, you have an out-of-county warrant. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office. It looks like it's Lake County. If there's a bond on it, you can post the bond. If not, our judicial assistant in county court will call the judge up there, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Williams,
Yes, ma'am.
what'd you do to your poor right arm?
I had gotten wrecked the other day, ma'am.
Uh-oh. All right, well, sir, you've got two cases that looks like both of these are out-of-county warrants. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office. It looks like on one of them you've got bonds, so if you post the bonds, you can get out. The second one, it looks like also that's a purge. That's a lot of money. I'm assuming that's child support. So,
But they was taking money out my payment already from my job.
okay. So if you post the bonds in the purge, you'll get out. If not, the judge's JA here will contact the judge's office in the other county, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck. Thank you.
Can you tell me how much my bond is?
You don't want the bonds are a lot lower. Do you know what the purge is, or do you need to know?
I need to know.
The purge is $14,846.29.
And that's how much I have to pay.
Yeah, when it comes to a purge, yes, you have to pay the full amount. That's PAC due child support. The bonds, on the other hand, if you get a bondsman to post it, your bonds are $1,000 on one of these, $250, $500, $500. So actually, it says here the purge is only $14,000 unless there's two writs of attachment. So, can pretrial services verify the bond amounts and the purge amount?
The purge amount is $14,846.29. One charge has a bond of $500, another charge a bond of $250, third charge bond of $1,000, last charge bond of $500.
There you go. That's what you got, Mr. Williams. Good luck. Thank you. Now I'm at
Hello.
reset for IAs. Are you Mr. LaFay? No.
Mr. LaFay refused, Your Honor.
Okay, he refused. Are you Mr. Landry?
Landry's mental health, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Marshall?
Yes, ma'am.
That's you? Okay. So, it's like you were in the hospital. Are you okay?
Yeah, on my.
All righty. Hang on just a second. Looks like you are out on a DV pretrial release. You've got a new pretrial release. Is this the same victim?
Let me check for you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
It doesn't appear so, Your Honor.
It does not or does?
Does not.
Okay. All righty. So, Mr. Marshall, I'll find probable cause and appoint the public defender's office. You being charged with a count of domestic violence battery. So there's no hold on him, right?
He has a detainer for the out on PTR.
So the new law offense would violate the pretrial release, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So am I supposed to address that, or will that go back in front of the judge that has that case?
Your Honor, it is to be addressed by the court.
Okay. Do you have a job?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you live in the same household as your brother?
No.
Okay. So where this allegedly occurred, you don't live there, or your brother doesn't live there?
No, I don't live there.
Okay. All right, court's going to release you out again on pretrial release on the case that you were on pretrial release to begin with. On this case, can you make a bond?
No, ma'am.
All right. Over the strange subjection of the state, I'm going to ROR you with the one proviso that you not have contact directly or indirectly with your brother. Can't return to where this occurred. And no contact means no social media posting and no reaching out to him in any form, in any digital or in-person way of communicating. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma'am.
Any restrictions you have on you on the domestic violence case that you were out on pretrial release are reinstated. Okay, so if there's no contact or no hostile contact on that, you still have to comply with it.
Oh, okay.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, for clarification, was that no action on 2020 MM1999?
That's the one that he was out on pretrial release?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see here.
Thank-
Thank you. And then we've got Kareem Benefield. Is that you, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Benefield, it looks like you're being charged with violation of probation. Looks like it was a warrant issued by Judge Kest. Looks like a new law offense. State, do you show if he's qualified under any murder? I see a burglary to an occupied conveyance, which would probably be a qualifying offense. That's an arrest. That does not necessarily mean a conviction. Maybe I can look it up. Might be able to look it up faster than anybody can. Hang on. 2019. CF. 4, 5, 8. I might. Hang on. Yeah, it's an MM case. So, Mr. Benefield, you've also got 2019 MM 6753, and you're being charged there for failing to appear.
Yes, ma'am.
Date?
I was
Yes, sir. You were what?
I was informed that the resisting arrest was discharged on April 14th.
Not sure about that. I'm looking up your VOP thing real quick.
Okay. That with the resisting arrest, that's what violated my probation.
The best I can tell from what's printed out here on the misdemeanor is that you failed to appear for something in January.
Yes, ma'am. That was for the resisting arrest. I didn't even know I had a court date. I had spoke with my public defender, and she had waived my last appearance, so I was assuming that because they were going to throw it out. She never got in contact with me.
I'm not sure they threw it out. I'm looking to see if you're anti-murder. It does not look like you are. It looks like you're just on regular probation. Let me see if I can pull up the other case.
Yes, ma'am.
There's an amended affidavit for violation of probation. Let me see what that looks like. That is one I think they've got here. Then it says, amended affidavit, let me look at that again. These little Surface Pros are so small. It's resisting without violence. Okay. Let me take a look. What else? Hold on.
Your Honor, this is actually my case.
Is it?
Yeah, I knew it sounded familiar. Yeah, as far as I can see on here, it was still the capias. I don't remember agreeing to any kind of no pros or anything. I would have to look at the physical file.
Is that the misdemeanor case?
Yes.
I'm trying to pull it up in Odyssey, and Odyssey is doing weirdo things on me right now. It's like jumping all around. And it's probably the Surface Pros wants to just drive me crazy. But here, now it's working. Well, with this COVID thing, you know, all kinds of stuff got reset willy-nilly. 6-7-5-3-8-0. What was discharged was your bond.
For the resisting without violence.
Right. So why would they discharge his bond? Bond forfeited, discharge, capias. No, there was a capias was issued for your arrest in January. What was discharged was the bond for you failing to appear. Usually I forfeit the bond, but maybe this judge doesn't do that. The bondsman had to pay your bond. There was a satisfaction of judgment because you failed to appear. So that's still going, sir. The information was filed, and you've been in the wind.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
yes, ma'am. I'm clueless to the fact what's going on right now.
okay, so the violation of probation, you're going to be held on a no bond, and in the meantime, your public defender, I presume, will talk to the prosecutor about taking care of your misdemeanor, failure to appear. That bond's at 0.2, so you're going to get held on both of these, the misdemeanor and the VOP, because they're both still pending.
Yeah, but they gave me a bond on this, on the failure to appear. I have a bond for $2,000.
Okay.
They offered me a
Well, you
$2,000 bond, and then I have the violation of probation. So that's
Okay, so if you want to post the capias, you're right. There's a $2,000 capias, and I'll leave it at that. The bond at $2,000, but your VOP's got no bond.
So, but the capias is what's really holding me. That's really what violated my probation, the resisting arrest, and that's why I'm trying
Correct.
to figure out how can they discharge the bond.
Because you didn't appear, sir.
I did.
So the bondsman had to, I'm sorry?
I'm listening. I'm listening to you.
So when you didn't appear in January,
Okay.
the bondsman had to pay the state of Florida your bond because you disappeared.
Okay. And
That's what's called discharging the bond is. That means the bondman had to pony up the money. So you've got a capias outstanding. The capias has a $2,000 bond on it. If you post the $2,000 bond, you will be released on that capias. However, you have a pending violation of probation that is based on a new law offense that you have not appeared on. That is still a pending violation of probation, and you have a pending new offense.
A new offense for what? That's for the resisting resist without violence?
And you have a violation of probation.
Those are the charges. So the new charges.
No. Hold on.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Do you have a job?
No, ma'am. I actually
Okay.
I actually start one tomorrow. I actually start one tomorrow.
Doing what?
I'm actually a cook in the kitchen. Asian cuisine. Dishwasher.
Well, your attorney's going to have to talk to the judge that's now in that division. Who took Judge Kest's division? Can't remember now. Judge Roach.
Okay.
So Judge Roach, you'll have to talk with, your PD will have to talk to Judge Roach about getting off the no bond on it. You've got a $2,000 bond on the capias, and you've got no bond on the VOP.
So with the VOP is that I'm on hold. That's for the resisting without violence.
No, sir. The VOP is violating your probation, your felony probation. And the allegations, and the allegations involve a new law offense and additional violations of probation of not reporting to probation. So,
Also,
thank
it's a
you.
technical violation. Those
Yes,
are
sir.
technical.
Yes, sir. There's 7 or 8 of them. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Is William Crawford here? Mr. Crawford,
Hello.
how are you? Mr. Crawford, you are also being charged of violating your probation. Let me take a look. That's a warrant that was signed by Judge Barber. It looks like you've got technical violations. She's got you on a no bond hold. You'll remain on a no bond hold. Your public defender could contact Judge Barber's division to see if they can do something about that. I don't know what he's on probation for. Can you tell? Battery, DV. I don't know if you're anti-murder or not. So thank you very much. Your public defender could contact Judge Barber's office about trying to see if they can do something about the no bond. Thank you. Is Nathaniel Wiseman there?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're Mr. Wiseman. Mr. Wiseman, it looks like you got a couple cases. First one's a violation of probation, which seems to say is this an on view? Let's see a warrant. Okay, Mr. Wiseman, it looks like you do qualify under anti-murder, so you're not going to get a bond. You're being charged, it looks like in a new law offense in 2020, CF 5726, with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, grand theft motor vehicle, possession of methamphetamine, attempted tampering with evidence, and resisting an officer without violence. I will find probable cause, appoint the public defender, set your bond in the amount of $2,500 on the ag assault, $1,000 on grand theft, $1,000 on methamphetamine, and $500 on attempted tampering with evidence, and $500 on resisting without violence. However, because you are on felony probation, and one of those new law offenses is a qualifying offense, you are considered qualified under our anti-murder statute, which means based on the violation of probation, on view hold, you will be on no bond, and you will not be able to qualify for a bond while those charges are pending, sir. So if you can afford to post the bond, don't do it yet because you won't get out. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the public defender of both the new law offense and the VOP. Thank you very much.
Good day, Your Honor.
How are you?
Your Honor, the next person who you have, he refused.
My name.
Not you.
Oh,
Hold on.
sorry. It's my first time in court.
Hang on a second. She's got to clean that up. Are you Mr. Messenberg?
No, he refused, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. What's your name, sir?
My name is Denzel Moxie, Your Honor.
This is Moxie.
Oh, okay. Yep. I got you in the back here.
Pleasure to be seen with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, Mr. Moxie, you're Mr. Moxie, right?
Mr.
So you were picked up and charged with And I'll find probable cause and appoint the public defender with DUI while under the DUI and no valid driver's license. I'll appoint the PD. Let me find your paperwork here. Hang on a second.
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
this was the defendant that has already bonded. He just needs his immigration detainer addressed on record.
Okay. So, Mr. Moxie, I understand you've bonded, but ICE has got a hold on you.
Yeah, they said they was gonna let it be over with after 4 hours, and it's been past 4 hours.
I have no idea how they do it anymore. For a long
That's what I
time.
was been told because my wife paid my bond 5 o'clock this morning.
So I can't answer that question. All I can do is tell you, you've got a hold on you for ICE.
Yeah,
I assume that the jail has some way of contacting them and they'll figure out if they're going to
yeah.
come pick
Yes,
you
ma'am.
up or not pick you up with the COVID. I don't know if they're transporting people anymore.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't know.
I doubt anything like that would transpire.
I don't know. Good luck. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have a good day. I think, is that it? Yay.
Spanish interpreter back on the line.
Hey, sorry I hung up on you, but we're verifying that. I don't think we have any Spanish interpreters this morning at BRC, just one Portuguese and one Creole.
Just one Portuguese and one Creole, no Spanish.
Perfect. So, Madam Spanish interpreter, you are free to go. We're going to use the language line for the other two.
Thank you so much, Your Honor. Have a very good day. Thank you.
Thanks. This one says telephone conference. I did. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Is that my Portuguese interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, does the defendant need to be able to hear him? Can you hear our Portuguese interpreter?
We can, Your Honor.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Interpreter, could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to accurately translate from Portuguese to English and English to Portuguese?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do you have the paperwork?
You're welcome.
What is this inmate's name, please?
Qual é o nome do detento?
Caleb Ferrara?
Okay. Mr. Ferrara, you're being charged
Senhor Ferreira, o senhor está sendo acusado de
with tampering with a witness to hinder communication,
interferir com uma testemunha e dificultar comunicação,
to hinder communication with law enforcement,
dificultar comunicação com as autoridades policiais.
and you're also being charged with domestic violence battery.
E você também está sendo acusado de violência doméstica e assalto.
Is the victim there at the BRC?
Yes, Your Honor.
And would the victim like to give testimony?
A vítima gostaria de dar testemunho.
Sim.
Yes.
And does the victim speak Portuguese?
Sim.
E a vítima fala português.
Okay.
Sim.
Okay, ma'am, could you please raise your right hand?
Levante a mão direita.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
Você jura dizer a verdade e nada mais que a verdade?
Sim.
Ma'am, could you give me your name,
Yes.
please? Tell me your name, please.
Qual é o seu nome? Qual é o seu nome?
Francinete Ivoneide da Silva.
And are you the victim in the case that involves Mr. Ferrara?
E você é a vítima deste caso que envolve o Sr. Ferreira?
Sim.
Yes.
Do you want me to release him?
Você quer que eu o libere?
Eu não sei. Pediram para vir para falar o que aconteceu e eu estou aqui para falar tudo o que aconteceu.
I don't know. I was asked to come here and talk about what happened. I'm ready to talk about what happened.
Mr. Interpreter, I couldn't hear you. You faded off. I heard you for a little bit, but then I couldn't hear any more that you said.
I apologize, Your Honor. I'm going to repeat. I do not know. I was asked to come here and talk about what happened. I'm ready to talk about what happened.
Are you scared of him?
Você está com medo dele?
Eu acredito que ele não vai fazer mal. Acho que não.
I don't believe he's going to hurt me. I don't think I am.
Do you want me to release him? Or do you want me to keep him in jail?
Você quer que eu o libere ou quer que eu o mantenha na cadeia?
Por mim, pode liberar.
For me, you can release him.
Are you sure you're not scared of him?
E você tem certeza que não tem medo dele?
Não acredito que ele vai fazer mal.
I do not think it will hurt me. I don't think so.
Okay. Mr. Ferrara, are you employed?
Senhor Ferreira, o senhor é empregado, o senhor trabalha?
Sim.
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
Que tipo de trabalho você faz?
Limpeza.
Cleaning.
Okay. All right. Over the strenuous objection of the state, the court's going to release him ROR on both counts with a special condition that he not have any hostile contact with this victim or any other persons.
Your Honor, he does have an immigration detainer.
Oh, well. So if I release him on his own recognizance, will they pick him up?
That's up to ICE. He will fulfill these charges, and then we'll notify ICE that he's ready for pickup.
So I don't. Counsel who represents him, do you want me to appoint? Do you want me to give him a bond? What do you want me to do?
He does qualify for
until they make
pretrial.
He does?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then I'll release him on pretrial release with a special condition he have no hostile contact. And that's on both counts.
Your Honor, this is the interpreter. If it would
Mr.
please the
Interpreter, I
court.
couldn't hear you.
Whenever you need me to translate, because I didn't say anything because this was a conversation between the court and the officers of the court.
So if you'll let him know
Whenever
that I've placed him on pretrial release with a special condition he not have any hostile contact with this victim.
Eu estou lhe colocando, então, em liberdade anterior a julgamento, com uma condição explícita de você não ter mais nenhuma atitude hostil com relação à vítima.
I understand that the ICE has got a hold on him.
E eu entendo que o ICE está com a vista em você.
And that the prosecutor's office has not made a filing decision yet.
E o gabinete do promotor ainda não fez uma decisão final com relação ao seu caso.
Generally speaking, the prosecutor's office takes a little more than a month to make a decision on whether to file charges.
E geralmente o gabinete do promotor demora em média mês para registrar acusações.
So I presume that the public defender's office, your attorney's office, will contact you to give you further advice on what to do.
E eu assumo que o escritório da Defensoria Pública entrará em contato consigo com maiores instruções sobre o que fazer em seguida.
All right. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Muito obrigado. Boa sorte.
Thank you. So, Mr. Interpreter, thank you very much. I think that's it for Portuguese for us today.
Thank you, Your Honor. It was
Thanks.
a pleasure.
Thanks.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Same to you. Now, do we do our Creole next? Okay. Sorry. Next, we're going to call the Creole case, which I think is Pierre Louise. Well, that's hard to hear those guys on the. So we're going to try to start. Are you here tomorrow? Yeah. We're going to try to start at 9:30. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that'd be great. It didn't dawn on me to let you guys know that I usually start early and fly fast.
Or early, get out early, so that's good.
That's right. Tomorrow's Mother's Day.
Yes, ma'am.
We're calling the interpreter. That's what's taking some time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shall we call up a different case? Because we're having a hard time to get a hold of it. So if you don't mind, we'll just keep going. Are we ready on Rita Maxwell?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Maxwell, I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office. You're being charged, and I'll find probable cause, with aggravated battery with domestic violence. Has pretrial release had any contact with the victim?
No, Your Honor.
And I assume the victim's not there to testify on her behalf or against her?
Correct, Your Honor.
State, what's your position on bond?
No objection to a bond, Your Honor. We would request the contact. The victim, the affidavit states that previous altercations and she's fearful. That's why she had.
Okay. Ms. Maxwell, do you work?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
Amazon delivery driver.
Okay, I'm sure it's an important job right now. Do
Yes.
you have a place to live that's not in the same place as the victim?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000 as a special condition. You're not to have any contact with the victim. No contact means no social media posting and no reaching out in any form individually or by any kind of online anything. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck. I've
Thank-
appointed the public defender.
All right, thank
She
you.
does qualify, Your Honor.
Oh, she qualifies for pretrial release?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you can go out on pretrial release as long as you have no contact with the victim. Or if you don't want to do pretrial release, then you can post the $1,000 bond.
Okay,
Okay? All right, thank you.
thank you.
Any luck with the interpreter? Yeah. So we'll keep going. We don't have the interpreter yet. Is Sam Conte there? Mr. Conte, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office. You're being charged with, are these all new offenses? So this means he's out on bond right now on possession of meth. 2 different cases of possession of meth? Yep. Sarah, I'll find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender. Possession of meth again, possession of cannabis, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Your bonds are 1,100 and 100. I don't see any reason not to revoke your bonds. All right, you're going to stay with us, Mr. Conte. I'm going to revoke your bonds on 2020 CF 5454 and 2020 CF 5169. I'll appoint the public defender. Thank you.
He's also here on a violation of, let me check the charge. A violation interstate compact as well. I'm not sure if we addressed that.
I didn't see it. I could have missed it.
It was an on-view violation, Your Honor.
So we don't have the paperwork for that. Do we need to do anything?
To my understanding, it just needs to be mentioned. He's currently has a no bond on that violation.
Okay, on his violation of the interstate compact, that he's being held on no bond.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thanks. Okay, now we got our interpreter. Now I need to do this. Hello, do I have my Creole interpreter there?
Yes.
If you could speak up really loud for me because I'm having a hard time hearing, could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to accurately translate from Creole to English and English to Creole?
Yes.
Okay, I have with me, before me today is Mr. Sugny Pierre Louis. Mr. Pierre Louis, are you there?
Yeah. Monsieur Chadney Pierre Louis, est-ce que vous là?
Okay. Sir, you've been arrested on a capias for failing to appear on a driving under the influence. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office.
Ok, yo arrêté, c'est parce que tu gagné pour te conduire avec un ou parce que tu influencé, ou tu supposé paraître et ou pas paraître. Qu'on y a là nous parle ba ou yon monde tant qu'on avocat yo.
Sir, what's your address?
Qui adresse monsieur?
18 Don Odi Street. Apartment 39th Street.
May I please ask him for a petition, Your Honor?
Sure.
Monsieur, répétez pour moi en créole, s'il vous plaît.
Qui ça dit?
Répétez adresse pour moi en créole.
Ok, c'est 18 Don Odi Street. Apartment 39.
The address is 1818
Yeah.
Don Odi Street,
Yeah.
apartment 39.
Okay, so I'm going to direct the clerk to change its database to show his address to be 1818 Dunwoody Street, apartment number 39.
Yeah.
Is there,
Ok, m'a fait greffier à côté pour qu'à mettre adresse là pour qui c'est 1818 Don Odi Street, apartment 39.
Yeah.
is there a letter after the apartment number?
39
Est-ce qu'il y a une lettre après Numéro appartement?
Yeah, 39.
Yeah, 39.
But because we thought it was 25C. If he's saying it's just 39, there's not a letter after the number?
Nous pensons que c'était appartement 25C, mais qu'on a dit c'est 39. Il n'y a pas rien de 39 là?
Non, je rete l'adresse, je ne rete là-dedans. Si le même appartement, adresse 25, je ne rete là-dedans encore.
I used to live, it's the same apartment. I used to live at apartment 25. I don't live there anymore.
So you're now in apartment 39.
Yeah.
And you're
On est
sure,
à apartment 39.
you're sure the street number is 1818 and not 1905?
Yeah.
Oui, c'est 18, c'est pas 1905.
Non, je rete là-dedans, je l'appartement sans encore. Je rete là 18 là.
Okay.
I don't live in that apartment anymore. I'm at 1818.
Okay. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $500 and ask the clerk to please change your database to send the newest notice to that new address. Make sure you keep in contact with the public. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Ma pas pointé au défendant public et puis tout moi mettez sa caution en ligne c'est $500 que lié m'a fait vérifier à connaître pour mettre nouveau adresse ça pour.
Okay. Because this case hasn't gone away, and if you don't keep in contact with your attorney, they're likely to have another warrant issued.
Dossier on a pas fini. Faut toujours qu'il y ait contact avec avocat ou là si pas faire ça, il y a juste la guillaume mandat derrière encore.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for your service.
Thank
Have
you,
a good
Madam
day.
Interpreter. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
You too, Your Honor.
Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Okay. 500, yeah. Okay, do we have Mr. Trayvon Ford? Nope. Who do we got?
Refuse, Your Honor.
You refused?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this Amy James?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. James, let's see. Looks like you're out on bond for burg structure and breaking or interfering with something. And I'll find probable cause, and you've been arrested on a new count of burglary of a conveyance. Your bond's $3,500 on that. I'll appoint the public defender's office.
Okay.
When did she bond out? A month ago. Was she on pretrial release at all, or just straight bond?
Just straight bond.
Bond, Your Honor.
I'm inclined to revoke your bond. I'm going to revoke your bond on the one that you're out on bond on. All right, good luck.
So what does that mean? I can't bond out?
Huh? Yeah, I stayed the bond at $3,500, but I revoked the bond on the one that she was out on bond on. Okay, are you Robert Allman?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Allman, you have a new arrest. I'll find probable cause on DUI.
Yes, Your Honor.
Set that bond at $500. Is there anything else besides the DUI?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so you're out on bond on possession of controlled substance.
Yes.
I'll leave that bond intact. I will not revoke that bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to bring to the court's attention that he's also here on a felony possession of controlled substance. It's the bondsman did endorse that bond, so he'll have to post on that as well.
Okay, so you'll need to repost that, but I'm not revoking it. So you have that opportunity to do that.
Okay, I'm not quite sure what that means, Your Honor.
I'm not exactly sure either, but you might have to pay the bondsman more money.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Don't get arrested again. All right,
Yes, Your
is
Honor.
Natalie Marty there?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Marty, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause and exposure of sexual organs and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll appoint the public defender's office. Do you have a job?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Let's see. Does she qualify for pretrial release?
No, Your Honor.
Is this a pleable offense?
Was that a question for the state or for pretrial?
No, I'm sorry, for the state attorney's office. Sorry.
I believe so, Your Honor.
Do you have any offers for her?
I don't have a history for her. Just make it plead to the bench.
Well, she got credit for time served in 2 days. The 8th, yesterday. Yeah. So if you want to enter a plea, the bench court will adjudicate you guilty and give you 2 days with credit for time served to 2 days. I'll reduce the fees and cost of judgment.
Ma'am, I'm very sorry. I can't hear you good. Can you please say that one more time?
Sure. If you want to enter a plea and give up your right to a jury trial, I'll find you guilty and give you credit for time served and reduce all the fees and costs to judgment.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you need a hearing assistant? They'll put that on there for you, so it'll be easier. Is that better?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. So if you want to enter a plea and give up your right to a jury trial, I've got a public defender here I'll appoint to represent you. I would just adjudicate you guilty and give you credit for time served of 2 days and reduce the fees and costs to judgment. I don't think either one of these things are enhanceable.
I don't.
Okay. And frankly, if you don't want to accept that, I'm probably going to set a real low bond for you and let you bond out.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so would you like to enter a plea today, or do you want to go ahead and?
Okay, ma'am. So I'm guilty, but I can get out in 2 days and do the plea.
You'll get out today.
Oh, I get out today. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and you don't have to admit guilt. You just have to plead no contest, which is you're not contesting the charge.
No contest.
But I would find you guilty.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, is that what you'd like to do?
Yes, ma'am.
He's got a form right there. He's going to have you sign, I hope. They don't do plea forms? Okay. Ma'am, if you could please raise your right hand for me.
Yes, ma'am.
You solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth.
I solemnly swear to affirm or tell the whole truth.
You have to just say yes.
Yes.
Okay. Are you Natalie Marty?
Yes, ma'am.
You can keep your hand down. Thank you. Do you understand that you're entering a plea of no contest to exposure of sexual organs? Is that an M1 or an M2?
It's an M1.
And possession of drug paraphernalia. Both of those are first-degree misdemeanors. Both of those have the maximum sentence of a year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. By pleading no contest to these 2 counts, you're giving up your right to assert any defenses that you might have and your right to go to a jury trial. The court would, if you want to enter this plea, which you've told me you do, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty and give you credit for time served for the 2 days you've been in our county jail. Fees and costs will be assessed, but I'm going to reduce those to judgment. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you are giving up your right to go to a jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a citizen, you would be deported based on this plea alone?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you have in your past a violent sexual felony, this plea could result in a civil petition being filed against you.
Right, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Knowing everything we've talked about, has anybody forced you or threatened you to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll find a free and voluntary plea. I'll accept the plea based on the allegations contained in the affidavit that there's a basis for it. Anything else from anybody? Court will adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for time served, impose fees and costs, reduce those to judgment for which let execution issue. Ms. Marty, the last thing I need to advise you of is you have a right to appeal the sentence here today. If you want to appeal, you have to file the written notice of appeal within 30 days. Good luck. Thank you. Then we have Javaris Sands. And Mr. Sands, this also looks like a pleadable offense: trespassing in an occupied structure, refusal to leave. State, are you okay with a plea on that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Sands, if you please raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth? Okay. So, Mr. Sands, you've been arrested and not find probable cause on trespass of an occupied structure, refusing to leave when you were told to leave. I'm appointing the public defender. If you want to enter a plea right here and now, a plea of no contest to that, I would adjudicate you guilty and give you credit for time served and reduce the fees and costs to judgment. If you don't want to do that, you may qualify for pretrial release or a low bond, and I'll either release you on pretrial release or set a low bond for you. What would you like to do?
Non-contested.
Okay. So you understand that you're entering a plea of no contest to the charge of trespass in an occupied structure. That's an M1, right?
Right.
The maximum sentence you could receive is a year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. I am going to adjudicate you guilty. Do you understand that you're giving up your right to go to a jury trial where the state would have to prove the allegation beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt? Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what you want to do?
I ain't trying to get no time.
Yep. I'm just giving you time served. Is that good? Okay. Do you understand if you're not a citizen, you would be deported based on this plea alone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you understand if you have in your past a violent sexual felony that this plea could result in a civil petition being filed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody forcing you or threatening you to get you to do this?
Oh, ma'am.
All right. I'll find a free and voluntary plea. I'll accept the plea based on the allegations contained in the complaint. There's a factual basis for it. Anything else from anybody? Court will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to credit for time served. Fees and costs will be imposed and reduced to judgment for which let execution issue. Mr. Sands, if you would like to appeal, you have to file a written notice of appeal within 30 days of today's date. Do you understand all that stuff?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck. Don't get arrested again, okay? Thank you. Okay, I got a writ of attachment on Gerald Counts. Is that Mr. Counts?
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Counts, it looks like there was a writ of attachment. What are we doing with these nowadays if we can't pay the purge? Okay, well, I'm not very familiar with these. I haven't seen them in years. So you need to respond. You have to come to a hearing. I'm going to release you and give you a mandatory hearing time for you to come to court. And that is on June 9th at 3 o'clock. Okay?
Okay.
If you don't show up June 9th at 3 o'clock, they're going to issue another writ of attachment and they'll pick you up and you'll spend the night in the jail again. Okay?
Understand.
What was that? Okay. And he has to call somebody today? Okay. So there's apparently a phone number you're going to call. They're going to give a copy of this to the jail? Okay. So they're going to give you a copy of the order at the jail, the phone number for you to call for June 9th. Okay?
Okay.
Don't lose it.
All
if you
right.
lose it, try to look it up on the internet in the clerk's office. Okay?
Okay.
So don't fail to call and don't fail to appear by telephone for that June 9th date at 3 o'clock.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right? Thank you. And I think I have, you're not Mrs. Brown. You're Mr. Griffin, right?
Yes.
Clyde Griffin. You, sir, have also been picked up on a writ of attachment. You, sir, are also being released with an order to appear on June 9th. You need to call a phone number. You need to make the appearance at 3 o'clock. 3:30 rather. I would call early if I were you. All right?
Okay.
They're going to give you a copy of this at the jail, I assume, before you get out. Okay?
Okay.
Don't forget to do it, because if you forget to do it, they'll issue another writ of attachment and pick you up again.
You said June 9th, right?
Yes, sir. June 9th at 3:30.
3:30.
And there's a phone number with a code you need to punch in once you call on the phone number. Okay?
All right.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So now I've got, is this Christopher Griffin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Griffin, you've been arrested on find probable cause, appoint the public defender on aggravated battery, domestic violence, and false imprisonment. Did pretrial release have any, or is the victim there?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Griffin, do you have any place to live that is not with the Marvina Levette?
Marvina Levette Brown, Enos.
Yep.
Yes, well, that's where I stay at. She already here, but I don't know where she at. I talked to
Do you
her on
think
the phone.
she's there at the jail?
Yes.
We don't think she's at the jail, do we? No,
Say she
the people.
They say she got here 11 o'clock.
Well, it's 12 o'clock now.
I don't know.
All right, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office. Hang on a second. So do you have some other place to live other than at this hotel with her?
No, ma'am, I don't.
All right, well, I'm going to give you a bond, sir, but a condition of the bond is you can't return to this place.
I mean, that's what, well, yes, ma'am.
And if the victim wants to contact the prosecutor's office and the public defender's office on your behalf, she can do that. I'll put bond in count. Do you have a job?
That's where I work at.
You work at the hotel?
Yes.
All right. I'll still set bond counts 1 and 2 at $1,000 each, and special condition you're not to have contact with her. So I'll contact the public defender if you make your bond, but don't go back to where she is. All right. Thank you very much. Now I've got Mr. Aquan Griffith. Does Mr. Griffith qualify for pretrial release?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Mr. Griffith, I'll find probable cause on possession of fentanyl and domestic violence battery. I'll set bond at $1,000 on the possession of fentanyl. And do we have a victim here on this case at all?
No, Judge.
Okie dokie. Thank you. I'll set bond on domestic violence battery at $1,000 and a special condition is he's not to return to the location and he's not to have contact with the victim. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge.
Thanks. Is David Hudson there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any victim for Mr. Hudson?
No, Judge.
Okay. Do we have any victims there at all?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys let me know when a victim's there so I don't keep asking.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. All right, so Mr. Hudson, I'm going to find probable cause and appoint public defender on battery by strangulation, domestic violence. Do you have a place to live that's not in the same place as the alleged victim?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right,
My
court's going to set bond. Sorry?
She left my place.
Okay. So you can't live with her?
No.
All right, good. So I'm going to set bond at $1,000. As a special condition of the bond, you're not to have contact with her, which means you can go home, but she cannot reside there.
Yes, ma'am.
All right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not to reach out and communicate with her in any form, whether it's in person or through any kind of digital contact or social media posting. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much. So, is this DeAndre Montgomery?
Yes.
The victim's present, Your Honor.
Okay. And would the victim like to give testimony to the court?
No.
Okay. Mr. Montgomery, you're being charged and I'll find probable cause. Is he out on bond right now? What is
No, Your
that?
Honor.
Okay. All right, so you're being charged with aggravated battery, pregnant person, domestic violence. That's count 1 and count 2 is assault, domestic violence. So he's got a bond on count 2, but just not on count 1, right? All right. Court's going to appoint the public defender's office. Mr. Montgomery, you have a job?
Yes, something like that. Due to the corona, I'm out of work.
No. Do you have a place to live that is not in the same place as this victim?
Yes, ma'am. I was staying with my mother when they came and got me. That's where I'm staying at with my mom.
All right, does the victim have any objection to me setting a bond?
No.
Okay. I'll set a bond in the amount of $10,000 as a special condition of the bond. You're not to have direct or indirect contact with the victim. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
It means you do not go where she lives or works. You're not to have contact socially in any form. So no digital touching out towards her, no posting on any kind of social media, and certainly no in-person contact.
Can
Got
I ask
that?
a question, Your Honor?
Yes.
I am currently pregnant, so I want contact because we have a baby on the way. So I don't want to not have any contact. I don't have any worries about him harming me or anything like that.
You don't?
No, ma'am. No, definitely not.
All right, then I'll set the bond in an amount of $1,000 with no hostile contact. So he's got $1,000 on the battery case, and I'll reduce the bond on the assault to $500. And as a special condition on both bonds, he's not to have any hostile contact. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, too.
Are you Zeke Benedict?
No, ma'am.
Okay, what's your name?
Deontay Thompson.
I got lost. Yep, it was under here. All right, Mr. Thompson, thank you. You're being charged with, and I'll find probable cause and appoint the public defender with 1 count of domestic violence battery and 1 count of aggravated assault domestic violence.
The victim is present, Your Honor.
Okay, would the victim like to testify with the court?
Yes, I do.
You please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
Yes.
Could you tell me your name, please?
Jermaine Morgan.
Okay, and do you want Mr. Thompson released?
Yes, I do.
And are you scared of Mr. Thompson?
No, I am not.
Do you think he's going to hurt you?
No, I do not.
All right. I'll appoint the public defender's office. I'm going to find probable cause based on the victim's testimony. The court, over the strenuous objection of the state, will release the defendant ROR on both counts with a special condition there be no hostile contact. Okay? No fights.
No fights.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we have one
Yes.
that we need to take out of order.
Yes, sir. Who is it?
Her last name is Santiago de Jesus.
Okie dokie. Let me find that real quick.
She's in the felony section.
Okay. Would that be the second thing down? Okay, we're on the record in Brenda Santiago de Jesus. Ma'am, I'll find probable cause and appoint the public defender. You've been arrested on possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resisting without violence. Looks like you're out on bond right now on petty theft with 2 prior theft convictions. I will not revoke that bond. I will leave it intact. I don't know if they're going to make you post it again. The new law offenses, does she qualify for a pretrial release?
She was not recommended due to already being out on bond, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'll place the bond at 1,000 plus 100 plus 100.
Man.
I can't go out on probation or something. I don't want to be locked up.
They haven't filed the charges yet, so you can't enter a plea.
And I can't go in pre-trial release. Why? I didn't miss no court day or nothing. I went to my court days. I did everything good.
Pretrial release, if I order her to pretrial release, will you accept her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then I'll order her on, she can either post a bond or it's pretrial release. So she'll have to comply with pretrial release if she accepts that.
What does that mean?
That means if they ask for your analysis, you've got to give one, which means you can't be doing drugs while you're on pretrial
Okay,
release.
that's fine. That's fine. Because that way I can quick.
Okay? So that's your choice, either pretrial release or the bonds. Thank
Pretrial
you.
release.
Martha Calazos.
And who's this lady? Who is it?
Martha Calazos.
Okay. So, Ms. Colazzo, is Martha Colazzo, right?
Correct.
Okay. Ma'am, I'll appoint the public defender, and there's probable cause on battery, that domestic violence. You've been arrested on that.
Yes.
Is a victim here?
No, Your Honor.
Is this your child?
He's my son, yes. He's been staying
Don't say
with
anything.
me.
No, don't say anything. I don't want you to say anything. Okay. Over the strenuous objection of the state, the court's going to release you on your own recognizance with the special condition that you not have any hostile contact with anybody in your home. If your son does not live with you, you are certainly free to put him out.
Yes, I need to know what my choices are. I don't want to get in trouble, but he's in my house. It's my apartment. His girlfriend disrespected me 2 days ago, calling me a fucking bitch and all this. She left, but he's been sneaking her in, and I told him yesterday I was going to court yesterday to go get a eviction order. So I saw that he had sneaked her, and she has a mother lives in Davenport, and I told her, "What are you doing here? This is my house." She doesn't work. All I do is smoke weed all day. Right now, I'm not working because of the coronavirus.
I've got to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry.
But
It's my house. She refuses to leave my house.
Okay, I don't have jurisdiction over her. I only have
No, I
jurisdiction over you.
understand that, but he's staying in my house, so.
Okay, if he's your guest and he's no longer your guest, put him out.
But how do I do that? Because they've been telling me I can't.
Do you want to talk to her?
Yes.
Hang on, the public defender is going to come talk to you.
Please, if I could get something that shows that he has to leave, because I don't have anywhere to go. The lease is under my name. I mean, it's just bad. You know, yesterday he was like, "I want you to die." Focus. You don't want your son to be in your house, you can call the authorities.
Hey, listen.
If you don't want him to be in your house, Hillary, call the authorities. I can't hear.
Okay, what she's saying is if your son is not on the lease.
Right.
And you do not want him there and you tell him to leave, call whatever jurisdiction you're in. Are you in the county?
I have called numerous times and they told me I'm not because he lives there. He can't
No,
leave.
he doesn't live there. He does not live there. He's your guest.
Right.
And he's now no longer a guest. So you're telling him to leave and he would then be trespass after warning.
Can I get something from the court that says that because him and his girlfriend is not going to?
The girlfriend for sure shouldn't be there.
Exactly. And she refuses to leave.
Well, I would call the law enforcement and say, she's not on the lease. She's not my guest. I've told her to leave and she needs to leave.
But you know what? I've done this in the past 3 days. The cops have come to my house 3 times and they tell me they can stay there because they've been staying there. I said, it's my lease. They're like, that's why yesterday I was going to court to evict her when this whole happened. Because, you know, she just walks out of the room. I told her, you need to go to your mother's house. And that's when my son got in and he started disrespecting me just like her.
I can't. I'm not even technically supposed to give you any kind of legal advice. You need to call the public defenders and see if they can't give you some assistance. And I don't know what to suggest.
What do I
for you.
do? I need to, when I leave,
I can't,
they're in
ma'am,
my
I
house.
can't. Sorry. I can't help you.
So what do I do?
Thanks. I don't know. I'll find out. And what's this gentleman's name?
Mr. Hernandez, and he has a
Okay.
victim.
He has a what?
A victim, Your Honor.
Okay. Did we skip over, or did Zeke Benedict, did he refuse to come?
He's mental health, Your Honor.
Okay, so he refused to come mental health. Okay. All right, and do I have a victim there on Christian Hernandez?
Yes, Your Honor.
Could the victim please raise her right hand? Or his right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you tell me what you would like to tell me, please? Do you want him home?
Yes.
Are you scared of him?
No.
Do you think he'll hurt you?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
I don't believe he will
All
do
right.
it again.
We're on the record in Christian Hernandez. I'll appoint the public defender's office. I'll find probable cause on battery, domestic violence over the strenuous subjection of the state. I'm going to release him on his own recognizance with the proviso that he have no hostile contact with anyone in the home. Anyway, did you understand all that, Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
No more fights. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Is Darius Jones next?
We have Warren Jackson, Your Honor.
Okay. Jackson? So I've got a Darius Jones. Is he?
You Jones? Come up, Jones. Okay, we have Mr. Jones.
Okay, thanks. So Darius Jones, is there a victim here for him?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Jones, I'm going to appoint the public defender. I'll find probable cause on battery, domestic violence. I found Jackson. Sorry about that. That was my error. It got stuck on the back of the other thing. So Mr. Jones, do you have a place to live other than where the victim is?
No, ma'am.
Is the victim your cousin?
Yes, it's crazy. It's all weird. Yes.
All right, I'm going to set a bond, sir, over the strenuous objection of the state, but a condition of the bond is you're not to return to this place, okay?
Yes.
Not have contact with the victim.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So court will set, do you have a job?
Yes, but with the virus going on right now, it's shut down.
Okay. What do you do when it's not shut down?
Chef.
Shelving?
Yeah, chef. Cook.
Oh, chef, sorry.
Yes.
Well, maybe it'll crank back up again for you. All right, court's going to set the bond. Will he qualify for pretrial release?
No, Your Honor, he's on state probation.
No, I'm not on state. I'm not on state probation.
Oh, I didn't see the VOP.
I'm on misdemeanor.
Is it a felony probation?
No, it's misdemeanor.
State, can you tell me what the charges he's on probation for? Oh, simple battery. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to set a bond both on the VOP and the new law offense. The new law offense, I'll make it $500, and on the VOP, I'll make it $500 also. So if you make your bond, make sure you don't return to the residence and have no contact with the alleged victim.
So how much do I pay?
All right. Now, I do have Mr. Jackson's paperwork, sorry. Sorry, I should slide it further for you. So, are you Juan Jackson?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, I'm going to appoint the public defender and find probable cause on domestic violence battery. Is the victim there?
No, Your Honor.
Did this allegedly occur where you live?
No, this is at a hotel.
Right. I recognize the name, but I didn't think anybody lived there. Sometimes, though, who knows? So you have a place to live where this alleged victim does not live?
Yes.
Okay, court will set bond in the amount of $1,000 with a special contact. You're not to have contact. Special condition, you're not to have contact with the victim, okay?
Yes.
Can you make that bond?
No, I don't have, no.
Okay, can he qualify for pretrial release?
We were unable to verify his community ties during the initial interview, Your Honor.
Where do you live, Mr. Jackson?
I live with my mom.
And is that at 30 Pershing Place?
No, she moved to Sydney, 1602 Sydney. She moved. That was her old address.
Okay, so if he gives you guys that new address, could that qualify him for pretrial release?
At the time of interview, we were informed that he was currently homeless and unemployed, so we could re-interview him to see if maybe he has additional information to present to us at this time.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll set his bond, I'll make it at $500, or if he qualifies, pretrial release. So you talk to the pretrial people, and if you can get qualified, they'll let you out.
Okay, and I will talk to him today?
Yeah, I think so, but I don't know.
I have to work Monday.
Okay. Pretrial release, do you know if you guys will get over there to talk to him?
We'll be speaking with him today, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
We'll be speaking with him this afternoon, Your Honor.
Okay, perfect. So they'll talk to you today. If you do bond out either pretrial release or the bond, you're not to have contact with the victim. Thank you. Is my next one Kevin Lambert?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir, I'll appoint the public defender. I'll find probable cause on domestic violence battery. Is there a victim here?
No victim.
Okay. Does he qualify for pretrial release?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $1,000, or no, $500 or pretrial release. His choice. As a special condition, he's not to have contact with the victim. Who's your victim? Who's the alleged victim? Let's see. The victim a step-parent?
I did. Sorry, ma'am. I didn't know you was talking to me. There wasn't any
I'm
victim.
actually just,
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
kind of talking to anybody.
I'm sorry.
Hold on.
His wife.
How old are your children?
The oldest is 22, which is
Okay.
my stepdaughter. I consider my real daughter through marriage. My son, 17, and the last one, 11.
All right. Over the state's strenuous objection, he can return to the where he lives. No hostile contact with the victim. Okay.
Thanks.
So if she picks an argument with you, you need to leave.
I will. It's not really my wife, Your Honor. It's my daughter.
Okay. Oh, your daughter's the alleged victim?
No, the situation started through my daughter.
All right. Well, hopefully it will resolve itself without any violence, but no hostile contact with the victim. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Is this Mr. McFarland?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, I'll find probable cause and appoint the public defender on violation of domestic violence injunction. And you're out on bond for a violation of domestic violence injunction. And sir, on that bond, I'm going to revoke it.
Oh.
And I am.
Miss, I'm
I don't
sorry.
think you- Yeah, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office. You need to talk to them only. I'm not going to give you any bond, sir.
No, ma'am, I have to go to work Monday.
Well, you were out on bond for a violation of domestic violence injunction, and you're back in for a new charge of violating a domestic violence injunction. I'm revoking your old bond and I'm not giving you a bond on this one.
Ma'am.
So,
Please, may you please help me out, ma'am. I'm not trying to lose no more jobs. I'm not trying to mess up. I've been really going straight. Not going astray. I've been really trying to keep going straight ahead. Please.
no, sir. Thank you. Johnny McGee, please.
I ain't got no bond at all.
McGee? All right.
Mr. McGee, you're being charged, and I'll find probable cause on domestic violence battery. Does he qualify for pretrial release?
It doesn't look like we initially qualified him, but if you did bond order, we could try to get him qualified.
Okay. So the alleged victim here is his brother. I'm gonna set bond over the strenuous subject in the state of $500 or pretrial release as a special condition on either one of them. He's not to have any hostile contact. Thank you.
Hostile? Okay. No hostile. Come on.
Justin Partain. Sir, I'll appoint the public defender's office, find probable cause on domestic violence battery.
He has a victim, Your Honor.
Okay. If you could please raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
Yes, I do.
Could you tell me your name, please?
Oh, sorry.
Could you tell me your name, please?
Jordan Dreyer.
And are you the alleged victim?
Yes, I am.
And do you want me to release the defendant?
I would like him to get mandatory help.
Well, right now, I've only found probable cause for the arrest. And at this stage, what I can do is set a bond. I can keep him in jail. I can set a bond with a condition that he have no hostile contact with the people in the home. I can also do as a condition of bond not to have alcohol. I don't know that I can set up mental health counseling as a condition of the bond because I don't know what resources are available or how to enforce it. If he does get charged, the state through at some time later, when he gets into a position of either going to trial or entering a plea, if he were found guilty or pled to it, then you would be in a position of talking about ordering something like mental health.
Okay.
But this is too early in the process to do that.
Okay.
So tell me what your thoughts are.
I would like him to have no contact with me at all and no alcohol.
Okay. Okay. And Mr. Parton, do you have any place to live that the victim does not live?
Yes, ma'am. My house.
Okay.
He doesn't live there.
Okay, so Mr. Victim, you don't live at his house, right?
No.
Okay. So, pretrial release, does he qualify?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm going to release him on pretrial release with a condition he not have contact with the victim. That's over the strenuous objection of the state. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I believe I've got Kayla Santiago. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to find probable cause on domestic violence battery. Any victim?
No, ma'am.
The resolution on the screen is not too good. Is that a tattoo or a bruise?
It's a bruise when she hit me.
Okay. Is it on both sides of your face?
I don't even know. I haven't seen my face. People told me that I got bruises in my face.
Do you see? Do you have tattoos on your face?
Yeah, I also do. Yeah.
See, from here, it looks like they're bruises, but I think they might be tattoos because they're
Yeah, but
very
the bottom right here is a big bruise.
Yes, a little of both.
Okay.
Tattoos and bruises.
All right, so you're going to want to have that picture taken. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Do you have a place to live that is not where the victim is?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have a job?
Yes, I work in construction.
Okay. And does Ms. Santiago Erguea, does she qualify for pretrial release?
She wasn't recommended due to having an active warrant out of Pennsylvania.
Oh, so they're going to hold her for Pennsylvania?
No, Your Honor, there's no extradition.
All right, so I can still order her pretrial release, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, over the strenuous objection of the state, I'm going to release her on pretrial release with the special condition of no contact with the victim. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Now, are we on felonies? Sorry. Okay. Are you Mr. Blair?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Blair, I'm going to find probable cause and appoint the public defender's office on a possession of cocaine charge. It looks like you're out right now on a dual list as a habitual offender. I will leave that bond intact and give you a $1,000 bond on the possession of cocaine. Does he qualify for pretrial release?
He was not recommended due to being out on bond.
Well,
And having-
even though he's out on bond, I'm going to request that he be screened for pretrial release and have his choice be he can either post the bond of $1,000 or go on pretrial release.
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't get arrested again, otherwise you'll be staying in our jail. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Corey Campbell. Mr. Campbell,
Yes,
you've been
ma'am.
arrested. And I'll find probable cause on aggravated assault with a firearm. It looks like there's an arrest warrant for that.
Yes, they just picked me up last night.
Yeah. You got a $5,000 bond. And you're out on carrying a concealed firearm. Ooh. All right, Mr. Campbell, because you're out on carrying a concealed firearm and the new allegation is involving a firearm, court's going to revoke your bond.
I'm sorry. Can I speak?
I don't think you, no.
I can't
I don't
speak.
think you need to.
I'm
No, I
sorry.
don't think it's a smart thing to do. I've appointed a public defender. Madam Public Defender, do you want him to say anything?
No, Your Honor, I don't think that's a good choice.
It does look like the allegations of what the warrant is on predates
It predates.
maybe what he's out on bond of.
It is.
I can't really tell. Because it looks like he was arrested on the carrying a concealed firearm February 26th of 2020. And the allegations contained in the affidavit say it was February 25th. This might all be the same incident. Let me see.
I'm sorry. That's why I asked her, can I speak?
I can't tell.
Because it's not. Okay.
Hold on just a second. Give me just a second. State, I'm checking to see, I don't know if you can, see whether or not what he's out on bond on is in fact the same allegations. Because it looks like it's pretty close in time.
You're making the same mistake.
Your Honor.
Yes.
The current case, according to the clerk of courts that we have for him, is the current offense date. The 3855 occurred on 02/25, and the
Right.
on bond offense date occurred on 02/26, according to the clerk of court records.
So it's two different dates?
Yes, but as I stated, it appears that the 3855 occurred on 2/25, which is the day before the 2676 on 2/26.
Right, okay. Well, in any case, I'm going to revoke his bond on what he was out on bond on. I'll leave the bond as set by Judge Wooten at $5,000 on this one. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Thank you. Thank you, pretrial release, for helping me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thanks.
Can I speak now?
No, sir. Madam Public Defender, he wants to talk to somebody. You might want to have somebody go out and visit him or call him or something. Okay, are you Joseph Chip?
Yes,
Chat?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Did I say it right? Chip Chat?
Chat.
Thank you. Okay, you're being charged with 1 count of possession of cocaine. I'll find probable cause, appoint the public defender. Does he qualify for pretrial release?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you can either post the bond of $1,000 or you can go on pretrial release. All
What,
right?
what does that mean?
That means you can get released without posting a bond, so it doesn't cost you any money, but you have to report to pretrial release, and they may make you do a urinalysis. Okay?
Yes, but does that mean I get out today?
I believe so.
Yes, I will accept that.
Okay, it's not a plea now, sir.
Oh.
The state may file charges, and if they do, the public defender's representing you. Make sure you keep in contact with them and give them any change of address.
Okay, do I get paperwork? Let me know.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
You should. Yes, sir.
Okay,
All right. Thank you very much.
all right.
1,000 or pretrial release. Okay. Are you Mr. Crenshaw?
No, ma'am.
Nope. Did I miss something?
Crenshaw bonded, Your
Bonded,
Honor.
Your Honor.
There we go. He bonded. So are you Mr. Olson
No, ma'am.
No, Your Honor.
or Mr. Dorsalius? Yeah, are you,
Selena's bonded also. This is the door.
okay. Are you Mr. Durden?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, got the right one. Sorry about that. So, Benjamin Durden, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on trafficking in methamphetamine. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Your bond's at $100,000.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a typical bond. All right. Thank you very much. Is this Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on aggravated assault with a firearm. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Your bond's at $2,500.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Are you Mr. Justin Greer?
Yes.
Sir, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause of burglary of an unoccupied dwelling. I'll appoint the public defender. Your bond's $5,000. Thank you very much. Are you Raymond Harris?
No, ma'am. Mr. Harris
No?
refused, Your Honor.
Okay. There we go. Are you Christopher King?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. King, I'll find probable cause. You've been arrested on burglary of a dwelling and criminal mischief. I'll appoint the public defender's office and your bond set at $5,100. All right, thank you very much. I think is Mr. LaFay next?
Mr. LaFay refused, Your Honor.
Okie dokie. Nobody wants to come to our party. Are you Mr. Landry?
He's mental health, Your Honor.
Okie dokie. How about Mr. LeBeau?
LeBeau bonded.
Bonded?
Yes, ma'am.
How about Mr. Letsom?
Mr. Lesson is present.
Okay, Mr. Letsom, you're being charged in I'll find probable cause on carrying a concealed firearm. Appoint the public defender's office. Your bond set at $2,500. Thank you very much. Is William Mahoney there?
He bonded, Your Honor.
Okie dokie. How about Nicole Meckley Herbert?
Yes, she's coming in right now.
Okie dokie.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, I'm finding probable cause on possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Does she qualify for pretrial release?
No, Your Honor.
Okie dokie. All right, your bond set at $1,100. All right, thank you very much. Next one I have is Dennis Miller, who has 14? No, 33 cases, 1, 2, I saw 14.
Your Honor, Mr. Miller is mental health.
Okay. And how about Stacy Oliver?
Ms. Oliver is right here, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Oliver, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on possession of heroin with intent to sell or deliver and possession of cocaine. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Does she qualify for pretrial release or F2s don't, right?
She qualifies, Your Honor.
All right. So I'm going to leave your bonds at $15,000 and $150 or pretrial release, your choice. You understand me?
No, I don't know what pretrial release means.
Well, pretrial release means that if you go out on pretrial release, you have to report to them. They may require you to take a UA.
Okay.
But there's restrictions. If you don't want to be restricted, then you'd have to post a bond.
Oh, I'll be. I mean, I'll do that. I'll do a UA. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk with them. They'll talk with you this afternoon.
Okay.
Any conditions, Your Honor?
So, and
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Pretrial release. What was that?
Were there any conditions?
Just whatever your standard conditions are.
Okay.
so like,
All right.
what would my mom have to bond? What's that? What does that mean?
I don't think she has to post a bond. Not if you go out on pretrial release.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I've got Mr. Hercules. Is that next?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Hercules, it looks like you were out on bond on 2 different cases,
Yes, ma'am.
and now you're being charged, and I'll find probable cause on possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cannabis, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'll appoint the public defender's office. You got 2 other cases here.
Yeah. The first case.
Don't say anything about them.
Okay.
You're being recorded.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to set your bond. I'm going to leave your bonds intact on the other ones.
Okay.
The new bond is $15,000 on the possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, and then $150 on the cannabis and $150 on the drug paraphernalia. And I will not revoke your other bonds. I'll leave those intact. If your bondsman has surrendered you, you may have to post it again. Okay?
Do I got a bond or no?
What?
Okay. Okay. That's all I didn't know.
You're good to go?
good.
Okay. Thank you. Is Roy Preston there?
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Preston,
Yes, Your Honor.
you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on grand theft firearm, possession of firearm by convicted felon, and resisting an officer without violence. Looks like you're out on bond on a Dwillis, and it looks like delivery of controlled substance. Yeah, keep getting arrested. All right. There's no bond set on these. Are these VOPs or they just didn't set bonds?
No, there's no VOP, Your Honor. I was supposed to come to court, but due to the coronavirus, we were my attorney and they had a plea bargain and set for the case that I was out on bond on.
Yeah, I'm not revoking your bond.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Just hold on there.
Okay.
I can give you a bond on the new grand theft firearm and possession of firearm by convicted felon. So I'll find probable cause, appoint the public defender. I'm going to set the grand theft firearm at $1,000, the possession of firearm by convicted felon at $2,000, and resisting without violence at $150. Okay?
All right. In total.
If you get arrested again, they may revoke your bonds.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
And what was in total? Can you write it?
That was
Do I know
no
my
action
bond?
on
What's
either.
the total of the bond, Your Honor, please?
Oh, the total?
Yes.
I didn't try to total it. 3,150? Right. Thanks. Sorry about that. Are you Shannon Quintana?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll find probable cause. You've been arrested on possession of lorazepam and possession of cannabis. Public defender's appointed. Does she qualify for pretrial release?
No, Your Honor.
No.
All right. Bond set at $1,000 and $100.
Okay. I'm not able to do pretrial release. What is the reason?
They say you're not qualified. Do you have a residence or an address that they can verify?
Yeah. Is that why I don't qualify? I can provide an address.
Because they show you as a transient.
Yeah, I can provide an address.
So what I'll do is modify this to either 1,000 and 100 or pretrial release if qualified. If you let them know what your address is, they may try to qualify.
Okay, yeah, I definitely need PTR.
Okay, good luck. Thank you. Are you Mr. Rocky Rochester?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause of burglary of a conveyance and criminal mischief. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Your bond was $3,500. I'm going to bump that down to 1,100. Does he qualify for pretrial release?
He wasn't interviewed, Your Honor. He was originally booked in under a warrant, which we don't interview. We can interview him since I believe that was a PC was added, a probable cause.
Okay. So I'll set the bond at 1,100. So it's a total of $1,100. And, or if he would like, and he's qualified, pretrial release. You can try to get qualified, you may not be. All right?
All right. Are these new charges or something?
Yeah, this is burglary of a conveyance that alleges that on January 8th at 6 o'clock in the morning, they responded to some place in Winter Park for burglary of a conveyance. I assume it's separate from something else, otherwise they would have consumed it, I would guess. I don't know. It looks like the allegation happened back in January. So it may be the same case, I cannot tell. I'll appoint the public defender's office and I'm sure they'll help research it.
All right.
Okay?
Okay, because I just came to TV court just the other day on some charges.
Right, they said apparently there was some kind of warrant, but they're telling me it's not the same case as this. This case is 2020 CF 5661. I assume that's not the same.
Correct, Your Honor. He originally was seen on 5/7 for a warrant for case number 2020 CF 005523.
Okay, that's a different number. This one's 5661.
Correct, Your Honor. He was already seen at initial appearance on May 7th for the 5523.
Okay, so it's a different case.
All right, thank
Yes,
you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
Thanks. Deborah Ann Rogers.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, probable cause you've been arrested on a new law offense, possession of fentanyl, possession of methamphetamine, and driving while license suspended. Duelis. I'll leave your bonds intact, set new bonds in these cases on the possession of fentanyl, 1,000, possession of methamphetamine, 150, and the Duelis at 500. Does she qualify for pretrial release?
She was
No,
not
because she's on bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
She does qualify?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. My response was yes, she wasn't recommended due to being out on bond.
Okay.
Could I?
So
I'm sorry.
I've given you a new bond. Can you post it?
I'm gonna try to. If I can't, could I get the pretrial release possibly if I couldn't post the bond?
All right. Over pretrial releases objection, I will order that as an alternative. So either post the bond or if you qualify, or pretrial release.
Okay, thank you very
All
much,
right,
Your Honor.
thank you. Thanks. Christian Rosa.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Rosa, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause, appoint the public defender on dealing in stolen property. Put your bonds $2,500. I'll reduce it down to $1,000. Does he qualify for pretrial release?
He was originally booked on a warrant and not interviewed, Your Honor.
Really? I don't have, see, because I've shown it's a new law offense, not a warrant.
Correct, Your Honor. He's been here since April 22nd.
Oh, okay, all right. So I'll give you a warrant, I've given you a bond on your newest charge that I've just given you an initial appearance on, okay?
All right.
Thank you. So, Mr. Rosario?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're out on 2 bonds right now. I'll find probable cause and you were recently arrested on burglary of a conveyance. I'll appoint the public defender. Set that bond the amount of $1,000 and I'll leave the other bonds intact.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
You know what? Hold on a second. This is basically the same thing he was out on bond on, right? I'm changing my mind. I'm gonna leave your bond at $3,500.
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Just take no action. Yeah, on the other ones. I'm assuming most of those things are all got canceled because of COVID. Mr. Sanders,
Yes, ma'am.
that you? Okay, sir, you're being charged and arrested, and I'll find probable cause on trafficking and methamphetamine and ecstasy and possession of a firearm by convicted felon and possession of cannabis and possession of drug paraphernalia. Guess it's the trafficking you have no bond on. State what's the standard bond on trafficking in meth with a weapon?
It should be the 100,000.
Right. I'll appoint the public defender's office. Find probable cause, set bond at 100,000 on that bond, on that count. Count 2, 150. Count 3, 150. Count 4, 100, and count 5, 100. So that's 100 and 500. 105. I can't say it. $100,500. Make sure you keep in contact with the public defender if you make your bond. Thank you. We have Anthony Santana.
Good morning, Your Honor. Anthony Santana.
How are you? Mr. Santana, looks like you're out on bond on the petty theft. I'm going to leave that as a ROR. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to revoke that ROR because that's going to give you credit for you being in here because you're getting charged now with some serious offenses, and I don't know if you're going to be able to make those bonds.
No, I won't be able to.
Yeah, so I'm going to revoke your ROR. That's in case number 2020 CF 56, I believe it's 99. Or is that AO? What do you think? AO? Oh, I'm sorry. It's 2020 MM 2859 AO. I'll revoke the ROR.
Yes.
And
Your
the
Honor,
new law,
Your Honor,
hang on a second.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did 17 months and I got out a couple of months ago, DOC, and I'm a convicted felon. I do not carry a firearm, and I'm scared of guns. And those charges, that's not true.
Okay. And you're not guilty at this point in time, and they have not filed, other than arresting you, I don't think they've filed the information yet. This is just the beginning of the process. The reason why I revoked your ROR is because I don't think you're going to be able to make the bond that's going to be set.
I know.
And while you're sitting in the jail, you might as well be getting credit for the petty theft.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm appointing the public defender, and I don't want you to talk about the facts of the case because public defender's here in the courtroom with me, and she would tell you that if you could see her. So on the new law offense, which is 2020 CF 5699, you're being charged, and I'm finding probable cause on robbery with a firearm and aggravated assault with a firearm. In both those cases, you're on a no bond hold right now. Court will set bond over the strenuous objection of the state. Robbery with a firearm, I'll put it at the typical bond on, it's a PBL, isn't it? I'll put it at 10,000 on count 1 and 2,000 on count 2. Then there's a second charge here, which is 2020 MM 3384. I'll find probable cause on trespass after warning. I'll make that bond $500. So I've appointed the public defender's office. If you can't bond out on all of them, don't bond out on any of them because you'll be getting credit. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Say what? No, I said no. I revoked the ROR. I just revoked it. No bond. Are you Valencia Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's see. You've been arrested, and I'll find probable cause on driving while license revoked as habitual offender. And it looks like you're out on bond right now on retail theft. We'll leave that out on bond as it is. Does she qualify for PTR on the Dwellis HFO? H-O, rather.
Your Honor, we can qualify Ms. Taylor for pretrial release.
Okay, so I'll set her bond at $1,000 or pretrial release. So if you don't want to post the bond, you can go out on pretrial release.
Okay, ma'am.
Your Honor,
Okay.
can we do straight pretrial release?
Sure.
Because we did speak with her mother, and she does reside with her mom, and she is currently working right now.
Perfect. We'll make it pretrial release then.
Okay.
Thank
you
All
so
right.
much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't drive unless you got a valid driver's license.
I won't, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, are you Rakeem Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you've been charged and I'll find probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender on aggravated assault with a firearm. Looks like you were arrested on a warrant, which Judge Doherty signed with a $2,500 bond. That looks like a pretty good bond to me. So we will leave you with that bond. All right, thank you very much. Then I think my next one is Mr. Sinfort. Jensen Sinfort.
He bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. How about Kenneth Sutton?
He bonded also, Your Honor.
Okie dokie, that's those two. Let me get this one. How about Francis Carico?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did I say it right?
Carico.
Carico. Okay, sir, you're being charged with trespass on property after warning. It's a one-year misdemeanor. The court would offer you, if you want to enter a plea right now, to no contest to that charge and give up your right to a jury trial, give you credit for time served, impose fees and costs, and reduce that to judgment.
Yes.
Would you like to do that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the whole truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Carico, do you understand that you're entering a plea of no contest to the charge of trespass on property after warning, which is a one-year misdemeanor? Maximum sentence you could receive is a year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. By entering a plea, you're giving up your right to assert any defenses and your right to go to a jury trial where the state would have to prove the allegation beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a citizen, you will be deported based on this plea alone?
Yes.
And do you understand if you have in your past a violent sexual felony that this plea could result in a civil petition being filed to have you committed?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anybody forced you or threatened you in any way to get you to enter a plea?
No.
I'll find a free and voluntary plea. I'll accept the plea based on the allegations contained in the arresting report. There's a factual basis for it. Anything else from anybody? Court will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to credit for time served. Fees and costs will be imposed. Reduce them to judgment for which let execution issue. Sir, if you would like to appeal the sentence you just received today, you may do so by filing a written notice of appeal within 30 days. If you wait beyond 30 days, it's too late to appeal. Do you understand all that stuff?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck. Thank you.
Your Honor, was he appointed a public defender?
No.
In this, no, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are you Mr. Castro?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you've been arrested and I'll find probable cause on possession of cannabis, less than 20 grams. I'll appoint the public defender's office, leave you out on bond on what you're on bond already. Set your bond. Can you make a $250 bond? I'll ROR you. You're out.
ROR?
Yes, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good luck. Thank you. Is Mr. What's your name?
Great.
Flournoy? Did I say it right?
He bonded, Your Honor.
Okay. Is this Mr. Gray?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Gray. You've been arrested and I'll find probable cause in possession of controlled substance, possession of cannabis, and possession of paraphernalia. You're out on bond. I'll leave you out on an ROR bond. I'll appoint the public defender's office. I found probable cause. Does he qualify for pretrial release?
Not recommended due to being out on bond, Your Honor.
Even though it's an ROR? Oh, there's shows surety bond and ROR. That's wild. Okay.
Per admin order, any other legal constraint is a disqualifier, so an ROR would count.
Okay. All right. So over the strenuous objection of the state, the court's going to ROR you on this case too.
Thank you.
All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't get arrested again. Somebody else will keep you.
Oh, no, I won't.
Okay. I'll hold you to that. Are you Mr. Williams?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Mr. Williams. You're being charged. I'll find probable cause on possession of cannabis. Listen, I can't tell if it's less or more than 20 grams. I'll appoint the public defender's office. I'll ROR you. Don't get arrested again.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep in
Thank you.
contact with the public defender. Thank you.
And Your Honor, that's
Thank
no action on the case he's out on bond for?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct. No action.
Judge, all right. No action.
Thanks. Are you Mr. Glover?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Glover, there's an out-of-county warrant from Sarasota County. So apparently what happens is Sarasota either comes and gets you or we put you back on our docket later in the week to see about letting you out. Do I have that right? All right, so
Yes.
you're being held on an out-of-county warrant from Sarasota County. It looks like, I can't tell. Capias obstruction bond, $500 docket. It looks like you have a $500 bond, so if you can post the bond, make sure you report back to Sarasota County.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. And is this Mr. Hamilton?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hamilton, you've been arrested for violating probation. Are you on felony probation? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So, sir, looks like you probably qualify under the anti-murder statute, so you're not going to get a bond. I'll appoint the public defender's office, and I'm sure they'll try to get you back into Division 12 as soon as possible. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Your Honor, he has
That's it.
reporting requirements.
He has a reporting requirement? Yeah, I mean, he's not going to get a bond. He's anti-murder.
Your Honor, yes, he just needs, once he does get released, he just needs to report his address to the local authorities and Department of Motor Vehicle. We just need to
Right,
make him
right.
aware of that, Your Honor.
Right, okay,
Yes.
so make sure if you do bond out, you have to report to the sheriff's office, right? Or
Correct.
probation?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes, Sheriff's Office and Department of Motor Vehicles.
Okay.
and I think it's every 6 months or something like that,
Yes.
the Department of Motor Vehicles. So if you do get out, make sure you remember to report, okay?
ma'am.
All right, thank you. And is that Antonio Harrison?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Harrison, you're being charged of violating community control. Looks like you're on probation for a qualifying offense. So it's anti-murder. So you'll remain confined with us until you go see, I don't know if this is Judge O'Kane's case or my case, Division 20. You'll see Judge O'Kane. All right, I'll point to public defender. Good luck. Thank you. Is that it?
That is it.
Yay! We'll try to start at 9:30 tomorrow morning.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, great. Thanks. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good day.
Thanks. You have a great day. Take care. Bye.
Andrea LeBeau.